prosecuted, and it was a severe penalty. If you were caught with over $100 worth of gold, and this happened to many citizens, you faced a $10,000 fine or 10 years imprisonment or both. And it was prosecuted. The Treasury, with all that gold being turned in, what did they do? Well, they just melted it back down into gold bars. You look at these statistics from 1933 to 1940, fully 39% of all the double eagles ever struck from 1850 to 1933 were melted back down into gold bars. That's over 50 million coins melted back down into gold bars, gone forever. And a lot of citizens said to themselves, and some institutions in the U.S. as well, well, it's not legal to own over $100 worth of gold in this country, but it's not illegal to own over $100 worth of gold in another country. And so they started buying gold coins before that deadline, and they shipped bags of these gold coins, and a lot of them were double eagles, to banks in Europe. A lot of the banks were in France. And they've been in those banks since the 1930s. Sitting there in a vault, in a corner, undisturbed, for almost 90 years. And that's the only reason you see a coin like this 1900s group that we have today in this extraordinary grade of mint-state 63 condition. I'd like you to take a close-up look of one of these, folks. This is extraordinary. To find a 1900p in this condition with so few marks. Now, when they grade coins, they grade them on what's called the Sheldon grading scale, from a low of 1 to a high of 70. 70 represents perfection or high magnification. There are no 100Ps in 70. I mean, there are no coins, period, in 70 from this early era. The only 70s you find have been coins that have been struck the last 30, 40 years at the U.S. Mint. In this early era, I mean, there were no 69s, there were no 68s. A 65 is an extraordinary rarity. A 63 is phenomenal. You look at this coin, so close to mark-free. It's a miracle of a coin. And now is the perfect time with these historically low premiums. Look at this. It's a masterpiece. So few survived in uncirculated condition. Now, to compare that to the typical uncirculated Liberty Double Eagle from the era, I brought along an 1888 in MS-60, which is uncirculated, but a more typical grade. This is what a coin in MS-60 condition looks like. And this is when they were uncirculated. Again, these coins were rattling around in bags, attracting marks. You could see all the abrasions on the cheek and in the fields. You know, a lot of, scratches all over the coin, but it's still uncirculated. It was never in circulation. But it's your typical mint state 60 condition. To find this 1900p in MS-63, these coins should not exist. If you go to the Smithsonian has the finest collection of United States coins in the world. And you look at their double eagle collection. The 1900p in their collection is an MS-63, just like you see here, of this quality. That's how good these coins are. And they are rare. These coins should not exist, folks, if not for the great European bank hoard. The only reason these exist is because they've been sitting in a bank vault in Europe since the early 1930s. This is one of the actual bags from the great European bank hoard, folks. We have fewer than 100 examples. When it was offered to us, we bought the entire deal. You take a look at these, folks. Again, if we can get a close-up. This is such extraordinary condition. Call in now. We have fewer than 100 examples in MS-63 condition. And it's really important to note, Out of all these bags that surfaced, again, we have fewer than 100 examples at MS-63. There were a lot more MS-62s. But the MS-62s will only be about $150 less in price. For a 1 point higher grade, you are getting so much more quality, so much more rarity for only $150 more. These are the perfect grade and the perfect price point for an extremely rare coin. Because I've got these coins, folks, today, $39.95 would be a great price. In fact, when I first looked at our pricing on this, I thought we'd be offering them at around $37.95 because that would be a great price for these coins, these 1900Ps in 6.3 condition. However, it would not be our best price. And our philosophy has always been to price the coins based not on what the market will bear, but to price the coins based on our cost. And if we get a deal where we get some coins that are just, in our opinion, below market, we pass those savings on to you. Now, this may be a $37.95 coin on the market, but we're able to offer these coins today. Please call in now. We're getting some people calling in because I have these coins today while we have them for $3,195 a coin, $31.95. Gold is around $1,900 an ounce. You've got about $1,900 worth of gold in the coin alone. And yet you have this incredible numismatic rarity for such a small premium over the gold value. This is a small window of opportunity, folks. When you get such a rare coin, such a rare double eagle, in such a high grade for such a small premium over the value of its gold content. The 1900P in MS-63 condition. Now, there may be a lot of you who are watching who want to take advantage of it, but you can't swing the entire $31.95. We want everybody who wants to take advantage of this offer to have the opportunity to do so. So we have a 2-payment option. All you have to do is put half down today of $1,597.50. And we'll hold one of these coins for you with your name on it, put it in our vault, and you pay the balance in 30 days. And you will have, hit one of the grand slam opportunities, numismatic opportunities, rare coin opportunities, gold opportunities of our lifetime. Here you've got a coin struck in 1900. They struck about 1.8 million examples. A large percentage of those were melted down. Most of them went into circulation, heavily used in commerce, heavily bag marked. But there were a small group, handful of bags, that found their way to a European bank in the early 1930s. They've been sitting there for decades and decades. They came out. We have some of the finest examples. There were a lot of them that were lower quality, again, that were MS-62, MS-61 quality. But the fact is, the MS-62s and MS-61s would be almost the same price. We're basing these coins on our cost, not on what the market will bear. And we're able to offer them for only $31.95. I have one chart to show you, just one, to give you an idea of the scarcity of these 1900Ps. Now, when it comes to double eagles, you've got basically two kinds of double eagles. You have the Liberty double eagles, which were struck from 1850 to 1907, struck for commerce. And then you have the St. Gaudens double eagles, which were struck from 1907 to 1933. The great majority of the double eagles coming out of the European bank hoard were, of course, understandably, the more recently struck St. Gaudens double eagles. So when you look at some of the most common dates, the total number that have been certified in mint state, like the 1924P, the majority of those came out of the great European bank hoard. The 24P, PCGS and NGC combined have graded about 200,000 examples in MS-63 and even 86,000 in MS-65. But even those are really scarce coins. And then you have the 1908P no motto, with about 100,000 in 6.3 and around 40,000 in MS-65. But you get to the Liberty double eagle. The most common date in the Liberty Double Eagle series in mint state condition is the 1904P. You can see the total certified have been 437,000 coins, but only 147 of those were MS-63 quality, and only 13,000 were MS-65s. These Liberty Double Eagles, when it comes to the higher grades, are much harder to find in high-grade condition than St. Gaudens Double Eagles. And then the 1900P you see there, it's rarer in MS-63 than the 1904P by a factor of about 3. And it's over 10 times rarer in MS-65. Now, I only have a few price comparisons for you today. Some of these were auction sales of the 1904Ps in MS-62, which is a lower grade. Here's a 1904P in MS-62 condition for almost $3,900. Again, this is a 1904P, not nearly as rare as the 1900P. And again, these 1900Ps I have are MS-63s. So I intentionally got coins with comparisons that are the same grade or lower grade than the 1900Ps I have for you today. Here's another one, MS-62 condition, a 1904P, a dealer with 100% positive feedback, $5,400. Here's another one, MS-62, dealer with 100% positive feedback, $4,200, folks. And with 1904Ps being offered for $4,000 and $5,000 in MS-62, $3,195 for a 1900P Liberty Double Eagle, Smithsonian quality. Again, the Smithsonian specimen is an MS-63, and yet we have it below the cost of what so many dealers are selling 1904Ps for. I'm going to have to close this presentation out now in about a minute because, again, we have a limited quantity of these 1900Ps in MS-63 condition. We have a lot more lower grade examples, but a very limited quantity of 6.3s. I mean, this is just spectacular. These large gold coins, I mean, that the cheek area of Liberty is such a target for abrasion with other coins. To find a cheek so relatively free of marks, and the field so relatively free of marks, and then you look at the reverse, it's virtually flawless. Look at the luster on the coin, all the detail. As struck, the coin was struck in 1900. It looks like it could have been struck yesterday and you just got it from the mint. It truly is a miracle. These coins should not exist, folks, but for that one sequence of events that led to bags being shipped to a bank in Europe where they've been stored since the early 1930s, and now they've just come out, and we've selected some of the finest examples of these 1900Ps, and we're able to offer them for this price today of $3,195. This is something you want to keep in your family. This is a numismatic artifact. This is a piece of our history. This is what numismatics, U.S. numismatics, is all about. These rare United States gold double eagles struck in 1900, United States of America, liberty, e pluribus unum, in God we trust, struck on every coin. Reminders of who we are and what we stand for as Americans. And some of the finest surviving examples from the year 1900, and the largest gold coin ever struck for commerce by the U.S. Mint. Smithsonian quality. Thank you for watching. Hello and welcome to Rick's U.S. Coin Show. I'm here with the lovely and gracious Caitlin Tomaska, who's going to be helping me out. Caitlin is going to be showing you some magnificent Morgan dollars that it's my great pleasure to be able to show you folks today. You know, I've specialized in Morgan dollars. That's the first area I specialized in when I became a dealer in the early 1980s. And I've talked about how the first book I got on Morgan dollars was by a fellow by the name of Jim Osborne. And I would talk about that first book, how I picked it off a shelf in a coin shop. But I didn't have a copy of it. I had gotten lost over the years. About a week ago, Caitlin hands this book to me, and there it is. And I said, Caitlin, where'd you find my book? And she said, no, I got this. Where'd you get it?
I got it from a secondhand store.
She got it from a secondhand store, okay? And I said, that's right. It's not my original book, because mine had one of the cover was torn at the edge there. It was ripped off. But this is my first ever book by Jim Osborne, and it's amazing how grading standards and things have changed over the decades, folks, because like for dates like the 1888 S of the uncirculated grade, in uncirculated condition, they'd say about 35% of them are MS65 or better. Well, by today's grading standards, it's not 35%, it might be, a couple percent. So grading standards have changed a lot. But this is my very first book. Thank you for finding it. I really appreciate that.
I like finding fun books.
Yeah, it's so cool. That was so cool. And my second book, it was Wayne Miller's Morgan and Peace Dollar textbook. Now, originally, it was out in soft cover. It was slightly smaller than this. This was his updated second edition. If you can find one of these, folks, this is a cool book because it offers a date-by-date analysis, and it doesn't go into exact rarities and stuff like that. It does go into the rarity of the various dates in high-grade mint state. Now, you have to remember this book is 30 years old, so that a lot of the information is kind of outdated. But one of the things Mr. Miller did that I really appreciated, and I've copied in all my books, is he would get state-of-the-art pictures for the different Morgan dollars in exceptional Morgan dollars. Now, state-of-the-art back in 1984 was not what state-of-the-art is today, but for that day, it was outstanding stuff. So that's just a couple of cool little tidbits. I started off, what originally attracted me to Morgan dollars was the fact that they were old, big, beautiful silver dollars. And if one did a little research, like I was doing, one could often acquire some very rare examples at an affordable price. And I became a specialist in these coins, and I would sell to other dealers. And I found out I have a very good eye for nice Morgan dollars. Now, for me, when I started out, and while our regular viewers, this story from past shows, but for our new viewers, we get so many new viewers in every week here watching our show. When I got back into collecting, when I was in my 20s, and I had my first full-time job, my coin budget was, about $100 a month. So you have some idea of what my parameters were for affordable at that time. So I looked for the finest quality Morgan dollars possible for a given date. And again, I became a specialist in these. Many of my clients have won awards for the finest sets. Here's an NGC award for Best Classic Sets for Proof Morgan dollars from 2006. In fact, my clients have had the best, finest Morgan dollar collections on the NGC website since 2003. The first finest set went from 2003 to 2008. It was one owner. It was First Strike Society, the Everest Collection, and from 2009 on, it's been a second client. He's had the finest collection. I helped him put the set together. Approximately, 40% of the coins in his collection are coins that I acquired for him so he could achieve that #1 status. And probably the pride and joy of the whole collection is this coin he has in his set, which is the finest known, the rarest Philadelphia Mint Proof Morgan, the 1878 reverse of 79. There's only about a half dozen known, and that's the finest known example. Fantastic coin. So I've got a lot of experience with Morgan dollars. And it's such a great time to start putting some nice Morgan dollars together. What I quickly learned when I first began, though, my study of Morgan dollars, and what I understood from the books I was reading on Morgan dollars, is that mintages have nothing to do with the Morgan dollar's rarity and value in uncirculated condition. There are literally thousands and thousands of bags of Morgan dollars across the country. Thousands of bags of circulated or lightly circulated Morgan dollars. A little over 380 million, in fact, the number is 386 million Morgan dollars were left after the 1918 Pitman melts, the great majority of which are circulated. Almost every family in this country, I think, probably has at least one or two of these coins tucked into the drawer somewhere. And they're cool coins. Huge silver dollars, struck over 100 years ago. So most people who own these coins, who are not collectors, they often believe that what they have is extremely valuable. And it's always a disappointment when after I see the coin, I have to tell them that no, it's worth a small premium over its silver value, maybe $35 or $40. Here's a great example. Morgan dollar, 1896-0. Here's a coin that circulated, and also 92S, and I've got it highlighted in orange. In circulated condition, a 92S is about $32, $33. 96.0, $32, $33 in circulated condition. But you get a 92S in just MS60 uncirculated condition. It goes from a $32 coin to a $37,000 coin. The 96.0 goes from a $32 coin to a $1,500 or $1,400 coin. Here's a look. I've just highlighted it. This is from the latest coin dealer newsletter, the gray sheet. This is what dealers use as a buying guide. And it's very small print, so you probably can't, I don't know if you can read it, but there you go. That's excellent. You could see the 92S there, $32 in VG condition, and it doesn't become really valuable. Even AU there at $1,300, but then when you get an MS60, it jumps to $37,000. And that's because the 92S Morgan dollar and the 96.0 Morgan dollar are not particularly low mintage coins. The 96.0 is struck about 5 million coins, almost. The 92S, 1.2 million. And circulated examples are easy to come by. And it's when you get to these uncirculated examples where Morgan dollars have their real value. Now, this chart helps explain why. It's a little chart I did, and just to break it down for you, if we can get that whole thing, and there you go. Okay, that top line, Morgan dollars melted under the 1918 Pitman Act. About 270 million Morgan dollars were melted down. That left, after those were melted down, that left about 386 million survivors. Now, of that 386 million, PCGS and NGC combined have graded in uncirculated condition. Uncirculated, which begins at the MS60 grade, that's the lowest grade of uncirculated, to MS69, which is the highest grade any Morgan has ever received. The total, you add all those coins up, about 5.7 million coins have been graded uncirculated out of that 386 million. That represents 1.5% of the total Morgan dollar surviving population. Now, folks, that number there, that 1.5%, 1.5% in uncirculated condition, even though these coins only represent 1.5% of the total outstanding Morgan dollar population, those uncirculated coins probably represent about 98% of the total value of the total outstanding Morgan dollar population. Let me repeat that. Even though of the surviving Morgan dollars, only a couple percent have survived in uncirculated condition, they represent about 98% of the value, perhaps, of the total value of all the Morgan dollars out there. As you could see on the gray sheet values for that 92S and the 96O. It would take thousands of 92S's to equal the value of one 92S in just MS60 condition. So if you're going to get involved in Morgans and commit your hard-earned dollars to putting some of these wonderful coins away, it's most important to focus on condition rarity when acquiring these coins. Now again, my regular viewers have heard me talk about this before on many occasions, but this is for the benefit of our new viewers watching our show today. For you folks watching for the first time, when we talk about rare coins in U.S. numismatics, there are really two different kinds of rarity. Originally, many generations ago, rare coins were mostly defined in terms of their absolute rarity. How many were struck? How many may have survived, regardless of condition? The most frequent example I like to cite, because it's a coin most collectors are familiar with, is the 1916p Standing Liberty Quarter. The mint only struck 52,000 examples, a fraction of which have survived today. It's an extremely difficult coin to find in any condition. Even AG examples, almost good examples, heavily circulated, will fetch thousands of dollars. And I've got a few auction records just to give you an idea of this. Here's one in VG8. Very good. This is, in other words, heavily circulated condition. 1916p. $4,300 for that coin. Here's one more recently sold, and this one is in XF condition, extra fine condition, so a slightly, but still heavily circulated. But you can see the price jumps to over $8,000. You get to uncirculated, you could be talking $15,000, $20,000. Now, thing is, over the decades, mostly the past, I'd say 50 plus years, collectors have also become increasingly concerned about a coin's condition. Understandably, we collectors tend to want the finest, most attractive example of a given date for our collections. And as coin collecting became more popular during the decade of the 1950s and beyond, the condition of a coin became more and more important as more and more collectors wanted not just to own any old example of a particular date, but the best quality example of that date they could find and afford. Great illustration of that, two red books I have here. Now the red book can't print the value of every single grade of every single coin. If they did, the book would be, 1,000 pages. So it just highlights the most important grades. Now I've got a red book from 1964. This is my first red book. And I have to be very careful with handling this because if I'm a little too rough, some of the pages might fall out. But I'm going to turn to the Morgan dollars here in this section very carefully. And here you have on the first page, Caitlin, if you could just real carefully, because last time I did this, one of my coin books fell apart. I don't know if you can zoom into that page there where it starts with the 1878 eight-tail feather. And on the right-hand page there, Amy, there you go. At the very bottom there, you could see the eight-tail, the very first coin listed, extra fine $3, Unc $6. That was it. And they had the value for the proof coin. Now, that was in 1964. But now look at the breakdown in the most recent. Okay, this is a 2014 edition of the Red Book. And that's on the left-hand page there at the bottom. Yeah, there you go. Right at the very bottom, the very first coin. They get into all the grades of circulated, but they just, for uncirculated, they just don't have Unc. They've got MS60, which they have at $160. They have MS63 at $250. They have MS64 at $500, MS65 at $1,600. And there are even grades beyond that. But the importance of condition, as you can see, has so much increased over the last 50 years. It's so critical nowadays, and especially when you're talking about uncirculated versus circulated. There, a circulated example is $45. Uncirculated, it's a couple $100. And so the focus of the hobby changed. And what collectors and dealers learned over time was that there are many, many dates, many issues in U.S. numismatics, which may be very common in circulated condition, but in uncirculated condition may be extremely rare. And this focus, folks, on condition rarity drives much of collecting today and is, in fact, greatly responsible for the tremendous growth in interest in the Morgan Dollar series. Because most Morgan Dollar dates are very common in the lower circulated grades. It's in the uncirculated grades that many of these dates become condition rarities. Here's a chart I made. I put it together. Took me several hours. But it's really important because it illustrates the relative condition rarity from the most common Morgan dollars in brilliant uncirculated condition to the rarest Morgan dollars in brilliant uncirculated condition. And it's several pages long. And I've organized the Morgan dollar dates in this series, and there's 100 dates and mint marks, by their condition rarity. And I used the latest NGC population numbers, where I added up all the coins they graded of each date from MS60 on up, from the most common and ending with the rarest. Here's the first page. And these are coins that where NGC has graded at least 40,000 in uncirculated condition, beginning with the most common. And it's very, very interesting. Most common coin, most of you know if you've collected Morgan dollars, 1881S. NGC has graded over 226,000 examples in uncirculated condition, all grades, MS60 and higher. Then comes the 84O, 85O. But you notice how quickly it drops off. When you get down to the 82S there, 72,000, it's a third of what the 81S is in the space of about a dozen coins. And then about 7, 8 coins later, you get down to the 1888P, you're already down to only 44,000 coins. So just in the space of about 20 coins, you have coins of condition rarity increasing about 5-fold in the space of about 20 coins. You got that 83cc there on that first page. An 1883cc in uncirculated condition, only 42,000. Here's one that was on eBay, and this is, when you see these on uncirculated, they're on other shows, they're usually somewhere between $250, $350, $400. So that price is in the ballpark of what you find for an uncirculated 1883cc. So there we go, and the last coin on that page is 1900, just over 40,000. So huge drop in rarity in the space of like 23 coins, from 226,000 down to only 40,000. Now we go to the second page, folks. And these are coins that have rarity where they have less than 40,000 graded down to 15,000. So we're getting to to another level of condition rarity. This is where we're getting to some very scarce coins. There you got the 1878S, much rarer than the other early S mints. Much rarer. The 1878S is often lumped in together with the 79, 80, 81, 82. The 78S, a much tougher coin to get in brilliant uncirculated condition. But you notice only 5 coins down how the rarity doubles. 1888 only 21,000. You're already down to only 21,000 coins graded. All grades in uncirculated, only 21,000 coins. And then about another 10 coins later, you're down to rarities of about only 15,000 coins out of 16 million coins minted for the 1890p. Out of 16 coins minted, only 15,000 certified by NGC in uncirculated. And then finally the 1882 just over 15,000 out of, even though over 6 million have been minted. Now you notice on that page, 1885 CC, only 228,000 minted, folks, but almost 18,000 graded in uncirculated. So again, this really illustrates the relationship between mintage and condition rarity, because mintage often has very little to do with the coin's condition rarity. There you've got an 1885 CC and an 1881 CC, really, really low mintages, and conditionally very, very, very scarce, very rare coins. But you've got some coins after that that have much higher mintages that are rare in uncirculated condition. And then we're going to get to this third page, folks. And these are coins that are even rarer than the coins on the second page. Starting with the 21D, with a mintage of 20 million, yet only 14,000 graded in uncirculated. And then you've got that 8 tail feather. That's a low mintage coin, only 9,800 coins. But then a little farther down, you've got the 030 there. 4.5 million, only 7,200 coins graded uncirculated. And finally at 87S, 1890cc, just over 5,000. And in uncirculated condition, those can be quite expensive. We're getting to some really tough coins there. The 1880 in uncirculated condition, the 1879 some really valuable coins when you can get nice uncirculated examples of these coins. You don't, 1891 CC. Many of you are familiar with that date. Tough coins in uncirculated condition. Circulated condition, folks, you can get them for $35, $40 for the most part. Now finally we get to this last one. This last group, these are the rarest of all. Coins with less than 5,000 graded, uncirculated. Take a look here, beginning with this page here. 91S is the first one there. 5.3 million, only 4,900 graded and uncirculated. 7/8 tail feather, 78 reverses 59. They really don't know what the mintage is because that was lumped together with the other coins struck in that year, and there's no real knowledge of how many were struck, but there weren't that many. But then you get a date like the 1889 12 million struck, and look how rare it is in uncirculated. Only 3,500 coins graded. And you move down the page some more. 93p, rare coin. 2,100 coins graded, but then you have the 99S and the 98S. 3 and 4 million coins graded, but even rarer than that 93p and those coins you see above it. The 79cc. The 79cc, 2,700 coins graded, uncirculated. An Unc 79cc is going to run you about $4,000, folks. And I've got a comp right here just to show you that. Here's one. Here, this is an auction price 79cc. MS-61, and it's almost $6,000. That's typical. That's par for the course for a 79cc. And then we get to the last page here, which is just a continuation of this under 5,000 population, and this is the last page of these rarest of all coins. Until finally we get to that 1893S at the very bottom. That's the king coin. That's the Godzilla of Morgan dollars. Now that has a very, very low mintage. I mentioned the 92S earlier, how that's a $32 coin in circulated condition, but a $40,000 coin in MS-60 grade. And that's why, because they're so rare. They have such tremendous condition rarity in uncirculated condition. A $40,000 coin in uncirculated, a $35 coin in circulated. 93S though, because it's only 100,000 issued, that's still a $3,000 coin even in circulated grade, because finding any 93S, it has a lot of absolute rarity. But then as far as condition rarity, the lowest grade MS-60 is a $100,000 coin. Now, I have a very special set of 21 brilliant, uncirculated Morgan dollars for you that I want you to take a look at. Now, I know you could turn on another channel, and sooner or later you'll find one of these other shows offering you a roll of 20 Morgan dollars in brilliant uncirculated condition for $1,300, $1,200, maybe even $1,100. And maybe there'll be a couple sliders in these rolls, but you know, coins that are actually lightly circulated and not uncirculated. But maybe there won't be any sliders. They might be all nice, brilliant, uncirculated coins. Typically, the coins in these rolls you see on these shows can be found on this first page that we showed you here. Usually when you see these kinds of deals, they're coins from that first page, 40,000 or more graded. 81S's, 84O's, 85O's, 80S's, 04O's, 86P's. You might get a couple examples from this second page, but just a couple, because these are more difficult to come by. Doubtful you're going to see a 90cc there, folks, or 87S or any of those coins like that, or 97S or 79O. You're not going to see those in those BU rolls, folks. Not true BUs. Now, those BUs that are offered, now we offer those BU mixed rolls ourselves here on Rare Collectibles TV. And honestly, nice BU Morgan dollar rolls for $1,200 are a really, really good deal. Here you're getting silver dollars struck over 100 years ago in brilliant uncirculated condition. The finest quality, top 2 to 3% of surviving Morgan dollars today. Rare coins in the condition sense for a relatively very small premium over their silver melt value. And that's so important because here I've got a gray sheet from about a year and a half ago, November of 2012. When silver was at $32 an ounce. Silver is currently about $19 an ounce. So for people who have really gotten heavily invested in silver bullion, over the last year and a half, 2 years, they've really taken a major hit. On the other hand, if they had bought nice uncirculated Morgan dollars, these coins have gone up in value. Why? Well, you got two things going with the Morgan dollars. You got the bullion. If silver goes up, that's going to help the value of these coins. But if silver goes down, you've got a finite quantity of brilliant uncirculated Morgan dollars. Now, the circulated grades of these Morgan dollars have gone down in value along with the price of bullion because, again, there's large quantities of circulated Morgan dollars out there, thousands and thousands of bags, but there's a finite quality of these uncirculated coins. They have the numismatic component, the numismatic rarity. And because they're harder and harder to come by as collectors put these coins away, it's a finite quantity that's getting rarer by the month. Now, these 21 coins I have for you, I've never been particularly interested in offering my clients coins they could find anywhere else, at their local coin shop or coin show. From my perspective, if they're easy to find, if the coins are easy to find, if you can get these at your local coin shop or local coin show, what would you need me for? Really, seriously. I have this ethic, folks, that demands I do better. If you're going to spend your hard-earned money on rare coins, it's incumbent on me to offer you the most bang for your numismatic buck as possible. These Morgan dollars I have for you today should be silver dollars that offer you the most eye appeal, quality, and most importantly, rarity and future potential for your numismatic dollar as possible. Now, I set a goal of offering a spectacular 20-coin set, a roll quantity of brilliant uncirculated Morgan dollars that would encompass the full spectrum of rarity of these coins in brilliant uncirculated condition, from the more common dates that were on page 1 to many of the rarest dates in the series. So that if you never bought another Morgan dollar, you would have a knockout set that you could be proud to own, knowing that you owned many Morgan dollars offering a level of condition rarity that you don't find at your local coin shop or on some other coin show that you may have watched over the past 20 years. And my goal was to be able to make this roll, provide it for under $5,000 for the roll. That would be less than $250 a coin. This isn't your typical mixed roll of 20, folks. In this case, 21, because I actually have 21 coins. This isn't your typical 21 Morgan dollars. Now, there's a great quote by Thomas Jefferson. To paraphrase Thomas Jefferson, he once said, "I'm a great believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the more I have of it." I acquired over a bag quantity of some absolutely spectacular mixed state, brilliant uncirculated Morgan dollars that had been in someone's vault or collection. Maybe it was hidden in a secret wall. Who knows where it's been hiding these decades, but this bag hadn't seen the light of day for over 40 years. And it was a big deal, and we were able to get it. And we've been very pleasantly surprised when we found that it wasn't just a bag of nice, brilliant, uncirculated Morgan dollars. Common dates. Here are the coins you'll be getting in this roll plus one. I've got that same chart for you of the rarity rankings. And the coins you see highlighted in red are the coins that are in this 21 coin super roll. Beginning with the 81S. We've got an 81S. We've got an 040, 86P, 830, 79S, 85P. But you see I've included in this roll the 1883CC, 1889P, and 1900O. And if we can go to that shot over there, Amy, on those first 9 coins, and we get a close-up of those, you see at the upper left there, there's your 1881S. That 040 is second. Can we zoom in a little bit more? Is that possible? The third coin is the 86p, and then in the second row, you've got the 83O. You've got the 79S, the 85p, and at the bottom, you've got the 83cc, in the lower left there, the 89p, and the 100O. And those are the coins in Category 1. So you've got the three rarest coins from that Category 1 in those 9 coins. The next group, Caitlin's going to show you this chart here. These are the ones you don't see very often. Now you occasionally see a 78S. We've got one of those. But we also have an 88O. 88O there. Twice as rare as the 78S. And then I've included the 84p and the two rarest examples from this second category, the 97p and the 82O. And we have those on that second, in that second holder there, those 5 coins you see there. There's a beautiful 78S, brilliant uncirculated. And the next coin to the right there, that 88O. Then down in the middle is a beautiful 84p. And down on the left-hand side is an 87p. And finally, the 1882O. Now, Caitlin is going to show you an example of an 1882O that she has here, and she's going to show you where the mint mark is on these, because this is really important. If you're new to Morgan dollars, you're asking yourself, well, what does the O mean and what does the S mean? That has to do with the mint. If there's no mint mark, the coin was struck in Philadelphia. If there's a CC, it was struck in Carson City. If there's an S, it was struck in San Francisco. And there you can see, right, she's pointing it to it, that little O there, between the D and O in dollar, right above the D and O, that O means it was struck in New Orleans. And that's a New Orleans 1882O, the rarest coin in the second category. Now, though, we're starting to get to some of the really, really great coins in this set, folks. And these were all good. The first 14 were fantastic. But now we're getting the coins with less than 15,000 in all grades. This is an amazing rarity, because when you consider a date like the 1881S, they've graded like 70,000 in MS65 and above. Okay, and here you've got coins that in all grades they've graded fewer than 15,000. And the coins highlighted are what we have in this very rare group. You've got the 81O, the 80p, the 21S, 1890S, and the 02p, 5,300 coins in this third category. Take a look at those coins. They're in the next 5-coin holder. At the top right there. There's your 81O, your 80p, 21S down at the middle. Such an underrated coin, incredibly underrated. 21S in mint state, a very tough coin. 21 million struck, only 11,000 graded in uncirculated condition. Then below that to the left, you've got your 1890S. 7,900 graded in uncirculated condition. Total pop by NGC. And then finally the 02p. And now finally, we get to the last page. We've got an 1891S. 4,900 coins. But we also have something extra special here. And this last coin is considerably rarer in mint state condition than the 92cc you see there, the 1879cc, Again, here's an 1879 CC. MS62 grade. You saw one earlier that was $5,800 in 6.1. Here's one in 6.2. $6,000. The 92 cc from this page, folks. The 92 cc. Here's a 92 cc. Top-rated seller, over $2,000 for a 92. They've rated about $4,000 in mint state, and it's a $2,100 coin. The 79 cc, they've graded $2,700 in mint state, and it's a $4,000 coin in just, you know, brilliant uncirculated condition, MS 60, 61, 62 condition. We've got a 98S. We've got a handful of these 98S and 99Ss in this bag deal. We're going to include one or the other of the date. We have a limited quantity of the 98S and the 99S at the very end there, Amy. That's the 91S that you're going to get, but you're also going to get either a 98S or a 99S. And Caitlin's got one of these. She's going to show you in a close-up. There we go. We can pull one of those. Only 19, fewer than 2,000 graded of each. 1,993 graded of one, 1975 of the other. Almost identical condition rarity. A beautiful 99S. This was a tough one, getting this in there. We only have a handful of these coins. But it's such an important coin to include, folks, because for only a few $100s more, we're including a coin that has the potential to double, triple the value of this set in the years ahead. So we've got a 98S or 99S in this set for you. Finally, for a set this magnificent, wouldn't it be nice to display them in a manner that befits their stature? So this is a 21 coin set, folks, that I have a beautiful presentation case for. And here you get to see it. And the coins are arranged in order of their rarity. Those first 9 you see in the first 2 rows, those are the coins from that first page. There you go. They're all organized by rarity. And then you see, I don't know if we can get any closer on that shot there, Amy. Yeah, can we zoom in a little bit more on those? There we go. And then in the 3rd row, you see the 78S. That's the first coin on the 2nd page, though that's your second group of rarity on that 2nd page. They're all arranged there for you. Beautiful, beautiful, brilliant specimens arranged by their rarity, by their condition rarity. And then on the 2nd tray, you've got that 3rd category, the coins with 15,000 to 5,000, those first 5 coins. Beginning with the 81O and ending with the O2P there. Magnificent, brilliant uncirculated specimens. There's your 90S at the very end of that row. And then at the bottom, you've got your under 5,000 coins. There's the 91S. And then you're going to get either one of these last 2 coins. You're going to get a 98S or a 99S. Now, folks, this has to be a date of our choice because we are so limited on the supply of either of these 2 coins from this group that we acquired. Now, I wanted to do this for under 5,000 for the roll. Less than $250 a coin. That was my goal. Well, I achieved that goal. Not only are you getting more than 20 coins, you're getting 21 coins. But I killed it, folks, because this complete set, and you figure the rarity you're getting in some of those coins, especially with the last 2 groups of coins, you'd think this would be something around $10,000 or more. There's so much condition rarity in this set. The entire 21 coin group is not $9,500 or $7,900 or $4,900 or $3,900 or $3,500. The entire 21 coin group, from that rarest 3 in that first category to that second group of 5 to that 78S, 81O, 91S, 90S, 02P, and finally 98S or the 99S. The whole thing is yours for only $2,795. Now, when you do the math, $27.95, that's $133.10 a coin, and it includes the display case. It includes the display case. And I would like to add that we're offering the 2-payment option on this amazing set of Morgans. That means you can put down $1,397.50 today, and we'll put a set aside for you in our vault. And then in 30 days, you pay the balance of $1,397.50, and the set is yours. Again, we've got everything from the 81S, and you're getting an 83cc, which by itself, on that first page, is by itself a $300 coin. But you're also getting the 89P from that page, and the 100O, which are rarer than the 83C in uncirculated mint state condition, and that's the those are the most common coins, those first 9. Then you get to the second page where you get a 78S, 88O, 84P, 97P, 82O. Those last 3 coins are all rarer in uncirculated condition than the 81cc, an 85cc, or a 78cc. A 78cc, folks, in MS6, just MS60 condition is about a $400 or $500 coin today. And you've got 3 coins on that second page that are rarer than the 78cc. And then you've got a group even rarer than those. You've got coins like the 81O, 80P, 21S, 90S, 02P, coins under 15,000. And finally, you've got a 91S, and you're going to get either a 98S or a 99S. Now, this is where you get maximum condition rarity for your numismatic dollar. I'm so proud to be able to put this set together. And again, this is so important. I don't spend a lot of time I don't think I've ever done a Boolean presentation. I just don't do Boolean presentations. Boolean can go up, Boolean can go down. I'm bullish on Boolean. But the thing is, if I was offering Boolean coins, or if I were offering Boolean coins to you a couple of years ago, when silver was $32, $33 an ounce, you would have taken a major hit today at today's prices. Because again, right now it's around $19 an ounce. You'd have taken a major, major hit. In that same time frame, these coins have gone up in value while bullion has gone down. And these coins will continue to go up in value because these are so much more than bullion. If silver goes back up, you're going to win on these. That's going to push the value of these coins up. But even if silver goes down, these are going to continue to grow in value because of their numismatic rarity. There's a finite quantity of these coins. You've got the common dates to these most rare states. These most rare states you can expect to skyrocket in value in the decades ahead because the quantities are so limited, so finite. This is an outstanding opportunity to put away a spectacular set of Morgan dollars, even if you never buy another Morgan dollar. This is a set I would most highly recommend for only $27.95, $133.10 a coin. Think of how many coins there are out there that are more than $133.10, that are not silver dollars, that don't have near the rarity of these coins you're getting today, folks. And it is available on the 2-payment option, $1,397.50 today, and $1,397.50 in 30 days, and you'll have a great set of 21 Morgan dollars. This is an incredible opportunity. We are getting a lot of calls in on this already. This is something, and I'm not going to talk about this too much longer because, again, I have a finite number of these sets because of the difficulty of getting those rare dates in this collection. I remember, and here it is again. It's so important when we're talking about these Morgan dollars, we talk about them in brilliant uncirculated condition. Condition rarity is what it's all about because, again, if you're talking about circulated Morgan dollars, they're out there by the bags. It's an uncirculated condition where they become really rare. Only a couple % of the surviving Morgan dollar population has survived in brilliant uncirculated condition. So that's why, again, as bullion has dropped over the last couple of years, these low-grade circulated Morgan dollars have dropped in value as well because they're primarily bullion coins because they are so available. On the other hand, these uncirculated coins are so much rarer that they have so much more condition rarity. And they have continued to go up in value because of that very, very finite quantity out there. And for us to be able to come across these coins, to be able to offer you some of the rarest dates in the series, and to do it all for $27.95, it's just a thrill. It's a thrilling opportunity for me to be able to do this. And I want to bring you just back to this one last page here and point to that 78 cc, 81 cc, and 85 cc in the middle of the page. Great coins. We often offer those coins. But even the 78 cc with a mintage of 2.2 million is a coin that's $400 or $500 in uncirculated condition. Here's one that was cleaned, Unk details, top-rated seller on eBay. Low-grade Unk that was cleaned, 78 cc, and it's $500. Okay, and you can pull that page back off so they can go back to that. So and the 81 cc and 85 cc are even more expensive than the 78 cc. Those three dates alone, and just for average Unks, you could spend $2,000 for those three coins. And I've got three coins just on that page that have more condition rarity than those three cc's. And then I have the next page of 5 coins that are even rarer than those. These 5 coins, those cc's were up around 16, 17, 18,000 graded. Here you've got coins 14,000, 12,000, 11,000, 7,900, 5,300. And then on the final page, the 91S, 4,900. And those two at the bottom, so deep into that rarity category, rarer than the 79 cc, which you see there. They've graded about 2,700, a $4,000 coin in just MS60 grade. Up above it, 10 coins from the top. The 92 cc, almost 4,000 graded. And that's a $2,000 coin. And I'm including either a 99S or a 98S in this set. You're going to get one or the other. Brilliant uncirculated, and this whole thing, that 98S or 99S, by itself should be over $2,700, folks. And someday, that's where it's going to be. But for today, you get the whole set, the entire set of 21. Only here on Rick's U.S. Coin Show Rare Collectibles TV in this showcase. We acquired these custom cases specifically for this set because this is something that we feel you would be so, it makes it so easy to show your friends. A beautiful display case where you can take the Morgan dollars out. Could you just show them how one comes, flips right out of there? Easy to just flip right out. There's a little space for your finger to take the coin out so you could, it's in a protective, airtight holder. You can turn it around, see, look at the obverse and reverse. It's a perfect way to admire, enjoy your set, and to share it with friends. all for only $27.95. We still have a lot of folks calling in. I don't know if we have a queue on this. It looks like we may, but please stay on the line. We'll take care of you as soon as we get to you, but I will have to cut it off at this point in time because this is an item, like so many of the items I offer here on Rare Collectibles TV, we can't back order it. So we have enough online to handle, enough of these sets to handle what we currently have online, but we're going to have to stop right here. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I hope you take advantage of one of these sets. This is the greatest group of Morgan dollars I've ever been able to offer here on any show. It's the greatest group of 21 Morgan dollars that any show has ever offered. All for $27.95, right here on Rare Collectibles TV. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned for our next presentation. I believe you're going to enjoy that one just as much as that. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks again.
This is a special announcement for all silver enthusiasts. Stay tuned to find out how you can acquire a rare, limited production American coin struck from pure silver. The American Silver Eagle, struck from 1 ounce of .999 fine pure silver, has long been America's favorite silver dollar. President Ronald Reagan signed the Liberty Coin Act of 1985. And the first ASE was struck on October 29, 1986. The obverse of the iconic American Silver Eagle depicts Lady Liberty wrapped in the stars and stripes of the American flag as she strides forward with an outstretched arm and an open palm, which beckon in the hopeful rising sun of a new day. This design of Lady Liberty comes from Adolph Weinman's stunning Walking Liberty half dollar, which was minted from 1916 to 1947. John Mercanti, the 12th chief engraver of the United States Mint, used modern mint technologies to strengthen many details of Weinman's legendary design. The reverse design showcases Mercanti's heroic rendition of a valiant heraldic eagle inspired by the Great Seal of the United States. The eagle is clutching an olive branch in one talon and arrows in the other. 13 stars above the eagle represent the original 13 colonies of the United States. But Mint State ASEs do not bear the numismatic mint mark of where these coins were struck. The West Point Mint began striking American Silver Eagles in 2001. And in 2020, due to an emergency closure of the West Point Mint because of COVID-19, the production of American Silver Eagles briefly shifted to the Philadelphia Mint. But during this 2-week period, the Philadelphia Mint produced one of the lowest mintage American Silver Eagles ever of only 240,000 coins. And NGC, the leading numismatic grading service in the country, has identified these coins with a special pedigree designation on their label that states Emergency Production American Silver Eagles, as well as the rare pedigree of first day of issue. Call 1-800-233-4145 right now to make sure you don't miss out. And listen to this, only 240,000 of these limited emergency production coins were struck, making this one of the rarest American Silver Eagles to ever be produced in the entire series. This limited number of coins being produced from Philadelphia is what coin enthusiasts call absolute rarity. And don't forget, these stunning coins are struck from .999 fine pure silver. That's right, pure silver. And each of these coins is graded Mint State 69. That's the grade of a nearly perfect coin. And also has the rare pedigree of first day of issue. Due to the incredible scarcity of 2020 emergency production American Silver Eagles in Mint State 70 condition, prices have skyrocketed, sometimes even costing between $700 and $800 for an MS-70. But listen to this, the difference between a Mint State 70 example and a Mint State 69 example is unable to be seen by the naked eye. This means that unless you are looking at your 2020 emergency production American Silver Eagle under 5 times magnification, there will be virtually no difference in quality between the Mint State 69 and Mint State 70 examples. And that's not all. Each of these stunning American Silver Eagles will come with an RCTV exclusive Reagan pop art label inspired by a Ronald Reagan sculpture that John Mercanti designed himself. Call 1-800-233-4145 right now to add this exclusive 2020 emergency production American Silver Eagle in Mint State 69 condition to your own personal collection for the low, low price of just $99.95. That's right, only $99.95 for one of the rarest American Silver Eagles to ever be produced. Wow! Due to the minuscule mintage and immense demand for these remarkable coins, we must limit this exclusive offer to 5 coins per household. And listen to this. If you order right now, you will also receive free shipping and handling. With such a low mintage of only 240,000 coins, this limited production pure silver American Silver Eagle is truly a historic and rare treasure. Lady Liberty on the ASE has always represented America's desire for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Call 1-800-233-4145 right now or visit our website at rarecollectiblestv.com. That's rarecollectiblestv.com.
I'm here on the American River at the actual location where James Marshall discovered gold at Sutter's Mill in 1848, setting off the California Gold Rush. You're watching Rick's U.S. Coin Show, so stay tuned for the next presentation.
Here are a couple of reproductions of what is undoubtedly the most famous work of art in U.S. numismatics. It's called the Nike of Samathriki, or the Winged Goddess of Victory. Now, I had been searching around, shopping around for larger versions of the Winged Goddess, and everything that you find on the internet, it's one of these smaller versions. And so finally, about a year ago, we came upon this one we have here. That I was so thrilled to be able to get this version of the Winged Goddess of Victory, the Nike. Now, the original was actually discovered on the island of Samathriki in the year 1863. The original, with the base, is around 18 feet high. Now, someday it's my hope to get a copy that's as high as the original. Wouldn't that be nice to have the 18-foot-high statue, a copy of the Nike? But it is truly an incredible work of art. It was created around 300 BC. And again, it's considered the most magnificent work of art from the Greco-Roman era in terms of a sculptor that really captures the flowing lines, the beauty. When you look at the Nike, it's as if she's moving through the wind. And it's that sense of movement of this statue that gives it that unique quality when you compare it to other stone sculptures of the era. Now, it now resides in the Louvre. In fact, when you walk into the Louvre, at the entrance, you have this marble staircase right at the entrance. And at the top of that marble staircase, you will find the Nike, front and center in the Louvre, folks. And the coins I have today were designed by Augustus St. Gaudens, one of the great artists of the era, who made some of the most beautiful, beautiful sculptures and coin designs from the 1900s. The coin I have used the Nike as his inspiration. And it's the St. Gaudens Double Eagle. And I have a St. Gaudens Double Eagle, folks, that I have not been able to offer in this condition in years. And it's absolutely stunning. We have a limited quantity of these. It's the 1915 San Francisco Mint issues in MS 65 condition. Folks, over the last couple years, it has been so difficult finding St. Gaudens double eagles, even the most common dates like the 1924 Ps and even MS 63, MS 64 condition. But to get a 1915S like this, we have a limited quantity of these. I made a little chart for you showing the rarity of this coin in the condition we have them in today. These are some of the St. Gaudens double eagles that we have offered in high-grade MS65 condition over the last 7 years here at Rick's U.S. Coin Show. And you can see the most common date is the 24P. 24Ps now are going for $3,000, $4,000. Gold right now is almost $2,000 an ounce. You have a 27P, over 30,000 graded in MS65. One of the rarest pieces we've ever offered is the 1907P, only around 2,600 coins graded in MS65. Those coins sell for $5,000, $6,000 today. This 1915S I have for you, folks, it's been years since I've had 1915Ss in this condition. If you go to the Smithsonian, they have the greatest collection of United States coins in the world. Their 1915S is an MS62. These are MS65s, among the finest known. It's hard to believe that these beautiful jewels are over 100 years old. Now, if you're wondering what MS65 means, well, coins are graded on the Sheldon grading scale. It spans from a low of 1 to a high of 70. A 1 is a coin with the heaviest possible wear. You could barely read the date. A 10 or a 12 is a coin with very heavy wear. You can read the date and have a little bit of detail. When you get up to 50, 53, or 55, those are called almost uncirculated, where there is light wear. The coin's been in circulation for perhaps a month, 2 months. When you get to a 60 grade, a 60 is considered mint state. That's a coin that's never been in circulation, but the coin has a lot of bag marks on it from being in a bag abrading with other coins. Typical condition for St. Gaudens double eagles. There has never been a 1915S or any St. Gaudens double eagle, for that matter, that's graded a perfect 70. The highest grade for a 1915S that I know of is MS67. Now, you look at this MS65, folks, you're talking about a coin that's essentially flawless to the naked eye. In fact, you're looking at it on your TV screen here, and it does look flawless. On the obverse and reverse, it is so close to perfection. These are miracle coins. That's why there's only a couple thousand in existence graded by PCGS. A 70 is a coin that's flawless under high magnification. There are no coins from this era, folks, that grade 70. They don't exist. The only coins you find in 70 are the most modern mint products. These were coins that were struck for commerce. They were dumped into bins. For any to survive, even an uncirculated MS60 is a miracle. Only a couple % of the entire mintage of the 1915Ss have survived in MS60 and higher condition. In these 1915Ss, there's only a couple thousand graded by PCGS. Now you look at this coin, again, so close to perfection. In fact, when you study it, right here, the high points of Liberty's breast, her left knee, the fields, essentially flawless. It's an amazing, miraculous state of preservation. And the reverse as well, no heavy bag marks or abrasions, essentially as the day it was struck back in 1915. You look at this coin, you have to understand that the St. Gaudens double eagle is the largest gold coin ever struck for commerce by the U.S. Mint. It's a little bit smaller in diameter than a Morgan dollar, about 10% smaller in diameter. However, it's about 25% heavier. It's a large, heavy coin with about an ounce of gold. Gold right now has been bouncing around between $1,900 and $2,000 an ounce, so there's almost $2,000 worth of gold alone in this coin. And to find it in this condition, you have to understand that these coins were struck for commerce. They were struck on the die, ejected from the die, they would fall into a bin. One coin would fall on top of another. From those bins, they would go through coin counting machines. After the coin counting machines, they were dumped into bags, thrown onto trains, and shipped to banks around the country. So by the time the teller would give you one of these coins, even though it had never been in circulation, it would be very heavily abraded. I have a couple typical examples. These are the kinds of defects you would normally find on a St. Gaudens double eagle. When you look at the deep cuts on this, and in the rim itself, you see some deep gouges, and on Liberty's right thigh there. Again, this is simply from one coin falling on top of another. Here's another example. You see the deep gouge by the rim at 8 o'clock. These coins are not even gradable, folks, because of the heavy damage. Because again, really heavy coins. I mean, you put one of these in your hand, and you could feel it. They're very, very hefty coins. And then when you find one like this, that looks like the coin was struck, and somebody must have caught it on a velvet pillow and preserved it for all these over 100 years so that it may remain in this incredible, virtually flawless gem condition, folks. This is a real thrill. Because not only are they St. Gaudens double eagles, but they're St. Gaudens double eagles struck at the San Francisco Mint. Of all the three mints, these are the rarest in MS-65 condition. When you find a St. Gaudens double eagle in gem condition, they're almost always struck at the Philadelphia Mint. And Sasha has population totals to show you the difference between the three mints. St. Gaudens double eagles were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The Philadelphia Mint struck the lion's share of St. Gaudens double eagles. The Denver Mint struck the fewest. But as far as surviving in MS-65 condition, San Francisco Mint is the rarest of the three mints. You figure the coins had to be shipped cross-country. It was a much longer journey. Simply fewer examples survived without heavy bag marks. So when you see one of these like we have today, consider the most beautiful coin ever struck by the U.S. Mint. Being able to offer double eagles like this, rare double eagles in this condition, is getting more and more difficult by the month. It's been years since I've been able to offer a 1915S St. Gaudens double eagle in MS-65. And I remember when I first made a presentation on these coins in MS-65. I told you back then, when I made that first presentation, that this would be the only time you would see me offer them for under $3,000 a coin. I had the coins for $29.95. I told you back then, you'll never see them for that price again once those are gone. We just have one comp to show you, and it's a very good price for a 1915S. Dealer with 100% positive feedback rating, 100% positive feedback, you know, as good as you can get. Only $5,450 for an MS-65. Okay, I've got these coins today. They're $3,995, and they are a bargain at $3,995 because they're even harder to get now than they were 3-4 years ago when they were $29.95. This group I have fewer than 20 examples. I have not had this kind of group of 1915Ss again in many years. This is a great, great opportunity to get a coin that is one of the great classics. The story of the St. Gaudens double eagle actually goes back to a letter written by Teddy Roosevelt. Actually, he did not like to be called Teddy. His name was Theodore Roosevelt. You do not call him Teddy. You risked his wrath if you did. Now, Theodore Roosevelt was one of my favorite presidents. He was a man of tremendous conviction who believed in the American dream. He believed in America, that it was a land of opportunity, that any American should have the opportunity through hard work and honest living to improve their standard of living from the standard of living of their parents and grandparents, that every American should have the chance to succeed. And so, for example, he was instrumental in opening up our national park system so all Americans could enjoy the natural wonders of our great country. And he believed all Americans should be able to appreciate great art. It shouldn't just be available to the wealthy in our country. And he thought, what better way to appreciate great art than through our coins as daily reminders with the symbols and the words of who we are, what we stand for, and what we strive to become as a nation. And he looked at our coinage of the day, and he just didn't like it at all. In fact, I'll read you his exact words in this letter, dated December 27th, 1904, to the Secretary Shaw. My dear Secretary Shaw, I think our coinage is artistically of atrocious hideousness. He was not politically correct, folks. Would it be possible, without asking the permission of Congress, to employ a man like St. Gaudens to give us a coinage that would have some beauty? Sincerely yours, Theodore Roosevelt. Now, getting St. Gaudens to design our coinage was no easy task, but because St. Gaudens had an experience in 1892 where he designed a commemorative for the United States Mint, and the Mint proceeded to change his coin design without his permission, which infuriated him as an artist, as it understandably would, and he swore he would have nothing to do with the U.S. Mint again. However, Theodore Roosevelt was a man, again, with strong conviction, very idealistic. He loved great art. He had many talks, many letters with St. Gaudens, and so over the next couple years, he did persuade St. Gaudens that they were like-minded in their ideals and their goals. And so St. Gaudens agreed to redesign all of our coinage, from the cent through the $20 gold piece. And this was in 1906. Unfortunately, St. Gaudens knew he was already dying of cancer. And so he was only able to complete 2 coins before he passed away, the $10 gold eagle and the $20 double eagle. And the double eagle is such a classic. We don't call it the Liberty double eagle, we would call it the St. Gaudens double eagle. You look at this coin, folks, and you see that image of liberty striding forth, the original inspiration being the Nike on the obverse, the torch of freedom, a light in her right hand, olive branches in her left hand. And then you flip it over, and the eagle has to be the most beautiful representation of the American eagle, the most inspirational that I've ever seen. There you have the eagle, wings outstretched in an upward trajectory, the rays of the sun in the background, in God we trust below. It's the one coin where the reverse, to me, is as beautiful and inspirational as the obverse. It is an all-time great classic. And to find this coin, as you see it here, folks, look at this coin. It looks like it just came off the die. And here it's over 100 years old. Only around 2,300 examples have been certified in MS-65. The Smithsonian specimen is an MS-62. This really is as good as it gets. And it's only $3,995. We have a limited number of these. There is a 2-coin limit per customer, folks, on this piece. The good news is it is available on the 2-payment option. So if you can't swing the entire $39.95 today, all you have to do is put half down of $1,997.50. And we will hold this ultra-low mintage 1915 San Francisco Mint St. Gaudens Double Eagle in MS-65 for you with your name on it, put it in our vault, and pay the balance in 30 days. Folks, This is an absolute thrill. I mean, we have been able to offer some incredible Liberty and St. Gaudens double eagles, but over the last couple years, the only examples we've been able to offer are the most common dates, some of those P mints, and they've been lower grade examples. To be able to offer a rare S-mint like we have today, a 1915S, and not just an MS63 or even an MS64, because we have had some MS64s. But to get these in MS65 like we have today, and at $39.95, this is truly, truly a dream come true. If you're a collector who wants to own a really great coin, just one coin, this would be a coin I would most highly recommend to put away. If you never buy another United States coin, this would be the one coin to buy, put it away, hold on to it, pass it on to your kids, have them pass it on to their grandkids. This is a coin you want to keep in the family. 1915, San Francisco minted Liberty Double Eagle. You know, they only struck a grand total 567,500 examples were originally struck. Almost all of those went into circulation. A lot of them were melted down in the 1930s when Franklin Roosevelt made the ownership of over $100 worth of gold illegal. And so a lot of citizens had to turn in their gold and they were melted back down into gold bars. These 1915S's originally came out of the great European bank hoard where some citizens actually shipped bags of double eagles to European banks where they could still own them legally. We had bags that came out of the great European bank hoard a couple years ago, and we've been trying to get them ever since. And to get these examples in MS65, again, a very, very limited quantity. We have them for only $3,995 a coin. Now that is a great price. This truly is the best time to buy rare United States gold. There was an article published a couple of years ago. Is it time for a new perspective on generic gold? Now, when they talk about the generic gold means the most common gold. So a generic eagle would be something like a 1924P, which is the most common St. Gaudens double eagle in mint state 65 condition. This is a rare date. But the point they're making in this article is a point that I've been making for several years. And to quote from this article, and this is really, really important, there has not been a time in recent memory when pre-1933 gold coins were obtainable for so little over spot. And here's what they mean by that. I recall a time, it was about 25 years ago, when I had it was a Liberty Double Eagle, but it was a common date. It was in MS63 condition, and gold was around $400 an ounce. I sold the coin for about $3,500, about 10 times the gold value. Okay, and it was a common date in MS63. Now we have gold at almost $2,000 an ounce. 10 times the gold value would be about $20,000. Here we have this rare date 1915S with almost $2,000 worth of gold. And it's a rare date, and it's an MS65 condition. I mean, this should be a $20,000, $30,000 coin. We think that this is the kind of coin that, again, you want to put away, keep in the family for the long term. There is so much future potential. At only $3,995, I hope you take advantage of it. It's an absolute thrill to be able to offer a San Francisco Mint St. Gaudens Double Eagle in beautiful, essentially flawless gem MS65 condition. Thank you for watching.
have a set of coins for you that embody the American spirit and were struck during a time of great hope and perseverance. As our country moved forward after World War I, conflict often referred to as the war to end all wars, the United States and the rest of the international community focused on the future and making the world a more peaceful place. The coins I have today were designed and struck in the spirit of those times. This is the peace dollar, the coin that succeeded the famous Morgan dollar as the official silver dollar of the United States. It was intended, of course, to be used for commerce, but it also symbolized a new American era. The peace dollar was introduced in 1921, about 100 years ago. World War I had ended 3 years earlier, and the world was slowly putting itself back together. The Treaty of Versailles was signed, the League of Nations was formed, and the world wanted nothing more than a return to peace. Here in America, there was immense support for pacifism and world peace efforts. And we see that attitude reflected in the art, literature, and even numismatics of the time. This pacifist sentiment was sweeping the world at the same time that America needed a new silver dollar due to the Pittman Act of 1918. This act led to hundreds of millions of silver dollars being melted down into bullion and sold to our ally Great Britain to help support its economy at the end of the war. In fact, 270,232,722 silver dollars were melted under the Pittman Act, which helped make the Morgan dollar the collector's item it is today. So we have both massive support for peace and the need for a new silver dollar to replace those melted under the Pittman Act. From 1918 to 1920, these two ideas converged into support for a silver dollar that espoused this message of peace. A bill was submitted to Congress on the issue, but by November, supporters of the peace coin realized they didn't need congressional approval. The Morgan dollar had been struck for more than 25 years, so it was now eligible for replacement at the Secretary of Treasury's discretion. On November 19th, invitations were sent out to a select group of artists and sculptors to design a new silver dollar. Some of the most notable artists in this competition included Adolph Weinman, the designer of the Mercury dime and the Walking Liberty half dollar; Herman McNeil, the designer of the Standing Liberty quarter; and Victor David Brenner, of course, the designer many of you know of the Lincoln cent. And yet, in the middle of this steep competition against men who had spearheaded the renaissance of American coinage, one designer was unanimously selected: Anthony D Francisi. D Francisi was a 34-year-old Italian immigrant who had come to the U.S. in 1905. His only prior work on a U.S. coin was designing the 1920 Maine commemorative half dollar. The young D Francisi was so convinced that he couldn't win against his more well-known and experienced competitors that he actually bet against himself, promising his artist friends that he'd give each of them a silver dollar if he won. And that's exactly what happened. D Francisi's design was chosen, and he had to order 50 new peace dollars from Mint Director George T. Morgan to settle his bets. So let's take a closer look at the peace dollar. On the obverse, we see this stunning depiction of a bust of Lady Liberty. She's wearing a crown that looks similar to the rays of the sun. It's very much like the design you see on the Statue of Liberty. And there's actually a very heartwarming story behind that. So the model for Lady Liberty on this coin was none other than Anthony D Francisi's wife, Teresa, who had also immigrated to the United States from Italy. Teresa and her family were one of many who were greeted by the Statue of Liberty as they sailed into New York Harbor and landed on Ellis Island. She would later recount how impressed she was by Lady Liberty and that she believed the statue meant a great deal to almost everyone who had come to the United States from another country. The D Francisis exemplify the American dream, the chance to come to a new world, make a new life for yourself and your family,
and help contribute to this grand experiment that's our country. Like many of you watching, I had members of my own family come through Ellis Island, and they shared the same hopes and dreams that the D Francisis would have. Looking back at the coin, the Lady Liberty bust on the obverse, which Teresa modeled for, is flanked by the motto, "In God We Trust," with the coin's date along the bottom rim. When we turn the coin over and we take a look at the reverse, we see a bald eagle perched on a mountaintop, holding that olive branch. The eagle is gazing out towards the horizon, towards the sunlight rising in the distance. This design is intended to evoke feelings of hope towards the future. After 4 years of horrifying war, people could finally look forward to a more peaceful world. But initially, there was a bit of controversy surrounding the reverse of the peace dollar. You see, in the original design D Francisi submitted, the eagle was holding a broken sword. Now, D Francisi intended for the design to symbolize the eagle rejecting war. The only problem was that a broken sword is usually an indicator of defeat and shame. In ancient times, if a warrior dishonored himself or failed in his mission, the sword would be broken to mark the failure. That's not really something you want to commemorate on a coin, and it's not particularly accurate to the American experience in World War I, which we helped win. When word of the design got out, the New York Herald published a critical editorial titled "The Broken Sword." Now, let me just read you a little bit of that editorial. "A sword is broken when its owner has disgraced himself. It is broken when a battle is lost, and breaking is the alternative to surrendering. A sword is broken when the man who wears it can no longer render allegiance to his sovereign. But America has not broken its sword. It has not been cashiered or beaten. It has not lost allegiance to itself. The blade is bright and keen and wholly dependable. It is regrettable that the artist should have made such an error in symbolism. The sword is emblematic of justice as well as strength. Let not the world be deceived by this new dollar. The American effort to limit armament and to prevent war, or at least reduce its horror, does not mean that our sword is broken." Readers' reactions to this editorial were swift and scathing. There was ultimately so much public outcry against this proposed design that the Mint ended up switching to the design that we see now. Given how gorgeous and moving this reverse is, I think the public had the right idea on this one. Today, we have an opportunity for you to acquire several of these museum-quality peace dollars from the Renaissance of American coinage. These coins were designed by a young, talented artist who beat out some of the most celebrated sculptors of all time. Sculptors that designed coins like the Lincoln cent and the Walking Liberty half dollar. Really, D Francisi's story is just remarkable. This is a true story of the American dream. We have this gorgeous set of 4 1922, 1923, 1924, and 1925 peace dollars, each graded in gem mint 65 condition. Now, let me explain a little bit about the coining process. One of the common side effects of this process, sadly, is that coins will often end up with a lot of flaws and imperfections. After the coin is struck, it gets ejected from the die, it goes into a bin where it topples on other coins and they braid against each other. And then they go through counting machines and they get stuffed into bags where they bounce and clash into each other even more. You know, when you take that into account, it is a miracle that we have any of these coins in as high quality condition as we have here today. By the time these coins would reach the bank, they would generally be peppered with bag marks and abrasions. Our coins, however, have survived virtually unscathed, and by some minor miracle are in gem mint state 65 condition. meaning they look as good today as the day they were struck. And today, I'm able to price these sets for you at just $795. That's less than $200 a coin. This is an outstanding opportunity. You can add this set to your collection of rare coins and acquire 4 of only 10 issues that were struck in Philadelphia. You'll get the 1922p, the 1923p, the 1924p, and the 1925p for just $795 total for all 4 coins. We don't have many of these sets, but we're able to get a great deal. And our philosophy has always been, if we get a great deal, our customers should too. And again, that's just $795 for these 4 stunning silver coins from one of the most transformative times in the history of our country. Now, $795 for a set like this is just a great opportunity. But I know that, some people, maybe you're not ready to take that leap, maybe it's not in your budget. We do have some of the 1923 that you can purchase by itself for just $199. And you will have just a beautiful, it's such a stunning coin. I mean, this is the largest coin produced during the Renaissance, the most beautiful silver dollar probably ever struck, that Renaissance era where Roosevelt made sure all the greatest artists were selected to redesign our coins. And if you're just gonna have one gem quality silver dollar, this is just a great coin, and it's a great value at just $199. Earlier, I mentioned that these coins are graded in Gem Mint State 65 condition. Now, if you're not familiar with the Sheldon grading scale, coins at the highest end of the scale, from 60 to 70, are coins that have never been in circulation. Mint State 70 is a coin that is absolutely perfect, has 0 flaws. And sadly, there just aren't any peace dollars that grade Mint State 70, or even 69. And there's so few in 68, almost none in 68, and it's a minuscule number even in 67. Mint State 65 is about the highest grade you can get, where these coins are still somewhat available and at a collector-friendly price. The moment you start looking at MS 66 or higher, you could be spending thousands of dollars on these coins. These coins came at the tail end of the Renaissance of American coinage, and they exhibit the same gorgeous craftsmanship and artistry that went into coins like the St. Gordon's Double Eagle and the Indian Head Gold Eagle. In Mint State 65, you see every detail of D Francisi's Lady Liberty on the obverse, and that eagle perched upon the rock on the reverse. The surfaces are so pristine. You have to really scrutinize these coins to find any contact marks or flaws. I mean, it's pretty remarkable that they made it through the whole shipping and distribution process with so few marks. I mean, almost nothing. Now remember, the peace dollar was meant to commemorate the end of World War I, but it was not itself a commemorative coin per se. This is a coin struck for commerce and for common circulation, produced in mass. Again, due to the coining process, where coins are braided and are tossed around inside bags, only a minute number of coins would have been in MS 65 condition by the time they even reached the bank. And like I mentioned before, the peace dollar was struck as a replacement and successor to the Morgan dollar, and most peace dollars saw frequent use. They were heavily circulated. That means that it's not easy to find peace dollars in this spectacular of a condition. In fact, less than 0.1% of the total mintage of peace dollars have been graded Gem Mint 65. That's not 1%, that's 0.1%. I mean, actually, it's 0.07%. I mean, that is the definition of condition rarity. When you compare it to Morgan dollars, too, is really impressive. For the total mintage of peace dollars, they only made about 190 million, which is about half as many as the Morgan dollar series. You look at how many coins, it keeps getting better and better as far as the rarity of these coins. You look at the number certified in uncirculated, mint state condition. The Morgan dollar series, it's over 6 million. The Peace Dollar series, it's less than 1.5 billion. So you start out with about half as many coins being produced. In mint state, you have about a quarter as many coins. And then when you get to mint state 65, the Morgan dollars, there's about 842,000. Peace dollars, for all the different dates, all the different mint marks, it's only about 131,000. And like I said, less than 0.1%, 0.07% of all the peace dollars struck have survived today in mint state 65 condition. Now that is the definition of condition rarity. Now, in numismatics, we talk about coins being either condition rarity or absolute rarity. Now, absolute rarity is when there's only a limited number of a specific coin in existence, whether it's just because it was a low mintage or most of them were destroyed. But condition rarity describes when there's only a few examples of a coin exhibiting such a high degree of preservation. And this is just textbook example of that. These are coins where so few of these have survived in mint state 65 condition. Now, coins this rare can sell for a lot of money. And let me show you a couple in mint state 66, just one grade higher than the coins we have here. Here's one, a 1924, almost $1,900. This sold in auction, $1,880. Here's a 1923, sold for just under $1,250. 100% positive feedback seller for $1,250 there. Here's a really beautiful coin, mint state 66. Like I said, just 1 point, just a hair higher grade than the coins we have here, $1,150. And then you look in mint state 65. This is why I said mint state 65, I love. There's so much bang for your buck here. They're still so rare, but it's such a collector-friendly grade. They're just so affordable. You can see here what other people are selling these for. Here's a 1925 in mint state 65, $430. Here's a 1923 for $975. Here's a 1922. This one's not even graded. This is just a raw, brilliant, uncirculated coin for $1,000. So you get the idea. In mint state 65, these coins start at about $400 and up. But, you know, as you know here, when we get a great deal, we like to pass it on to you. And that's why this set is only $795 for all 4 coins, less than $200 a coin. Now just look at this coin. An exquisite rendition of Lady Liberty in all her glory, wearing a crown reminiscent of the Statue of Liberty and bearing that motto, "In God We Trust." And when we turn it over to the reverse, we see that iconic bald eagle, a symbol of American strength. Take a look at the quality. And again, it's such a great example of condition rarity. If you love beautiful, iconic American coins, this is the largest coin struck during that Renaissance era, when Theodore Roosevelt sought out the greatest artists of the time to redesign American coinage. These coins embody the beauty of the Renaissance of American coinage, from an artist who epitomized the American dream. These peace dollars evoke hope for a brighter tomorrow, on top of being stunning and rare enough to have a home in any numismatist collection. They're a great treasure to own if you're a collector, or if you just appreciate beautiful things, or if you want to have something special to pass down to the grandkids. And they occupy the top 0.07% of quality for these coins. I mean, how many offers do you see that can make that kind of a claim? I mean, I love the peace dollar. I think it's an underrated coin series, and to see these in gem mint state 65 makes this set one of my favorites, especially when it's at such a collector-friendly price. We just got really lucky with this deal, and I hope you're able to take advantage of this numismatic opportunity. I'm Jack McNamara, and thank you so much for joining me here today. And take care and stay safe.
Here we go, guys. Are you ready? I'm James Gerstel. You guys are watching Rare Collectibles TV. Do you remember one of the most popular presentations we've ever had on Rare Collectibles TV? Do you remember the Great Depository Hoard? Folks, it's time for the Great Depository Hoard one more time, because that's going to be about it. I want to show you just how vast this hoard of coins were. Now, these were all Walking Liberty half dollars. We're talking about coins that were minted beginning in 1916 and last in 1947. You know the Walking Liberty half dollar, the present day American silver eagle obverse, that big, beautiful allegorical of liberty striding forward, welcoming in the new century, the 20th century, brought back in 1986 on the silver eagle. We've done something that no other show has ever done before. We purchased 150,000 Walking Liberty half dollars. 150,000. 75 bags. Just to get a little idea of what 75 bags of solid silver Walking Liberty half dollars looks like, take a look at this. This is a photograph from the Treasury vaults, the reserve vaults of silver. And I just want you to take a look at all of the bags of silver. You can count them. They're twos, just right. I mean, 75 bags with 2,000 coins in each bag, 150,000 coins in all Walking Liberty half dollars. You'll never see anything like that, ever again. The Walking Liberty half dollar was one of the true American Renaissance coins. If you don't know the story of the American Renaissance, the redesign of American coinage began in the early 1900s. Two main proponents of the Renaissance were Teddy Roosevelt, President of the United States, and Augustus St. Gaudens, the world's preeminent sculptor and the designer of the St. Gaudens Double Eagle and the $10 gold St. Gaudens Indian. And more importantly, he began the Renaissance, the great redesign of American coinage. Now, here's the thing. We have an unbelievable opportunity to own these original coins. This is like a treasure hunt. These are unsearched. I got to tell you, folks, if there are overdates in this deal, if there's the rarest Walking Liberty half dollars, not a single coin has been removed out of this deal. We didn't cherry pick it, is what I'm trying to say. Every single goodie, every single great date, every single original coin was left in this deal of 100,000 coins, 150,000 for you guys. But here's the thing. We're getting low. We're not going to be, well, we're almost out. It has been one of the most popular presentations ever on Rare Collectibles. We've gone through nearly 150,000 Walking Liberty half dollars. Now, the Walking Liberty half dollar was the workhorse of American commerce, struck to be spent, struck to be released into circulation. Struck, in this case, we're listing 1917 to 1947 because those are the dates that we found in this deal. But I want you to take a look at the quantities that were struck at all mints of the Walking Liberty half dollar, the Franklin half dollar, and the Kennedy half dollar. Obviously, the Kennedy half dollar is the leader. Franklin half dollars, you see where they came down, and the Walking Liberty half dollar, that workhorse of a coin. Most do not exist, ladies and gentlemen, because the last one was issued in 1947. It's been quite a while since then. These coins do not circulate any longer, folks. I want you to take a look at this deal. It's big, 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 and we're going to offer an opportunity to get in big here. Here's the deal. You can go for 25 coins at a great price, 50 coins or 100. All original. Once upon a time in the United States, and you're going to see I can see a couple of AU unks at the top right there. See that golden one going by? Folks, this is a deal that will never come around again. It came from a depository in Delaware. Now, you'll note when you get the bags that there is the state seal of Delaware on our tags because this depository was located in the state of Delaware. 150,000 Walking Liberty half dollars were packed away in a vault. They had been there for generations. We got a crack at this deal and we took every single coin because it was superlative. Its quantity the fact that they were all Walking Liberty half dollars. Most of the time, when you guys get in on a deal of half dollars, they're going to be mixed in with Kennedys and Franklins and some Walkers, if you're lucky, and worn out Barbers. But in this case, they're all original. The most popular half dollar in terms of its longevity, in terms of its beauty, in terms of its allegorical design of liberty, was the Walking Liberty half dollar. Before we price it, though, here's some Walking Liberty half dollars, 5 coins as a matter of fact, from the 40s, 1941 to 45, at $160. Here's a set of 3 at $85 each, also from the 40s, 1943 to 45, the World War II years. Here's an individual 1935. I pulled this date because I saw 35s in there, over $30 for that coin. And on 1937, in this case from San Francisco, out there in the real world, we don't deal in the real world. We're all about finding hoards and buying them so right and passing that along to our collector customers. But you're not going to pay, that's a $38 coin, one coin, $38. So here's our deal. There's so much to talk about. Adolph A. Wyman, the designer of the coin, he was a pupil and a protege of Augustus St. Gaudens. He was one of the Renaissance designers. He only designed 2 coins for the U.S. Mint, much like Augustus St. Gaudens, the Walking Liberty half dollar and the Mercury dime. 2 beautiful, beautiful numismatic specimens. In this case, we're all about the Walking Liberty half dollar. Now check this out. 25 coins, $395. $395, $15.80 per coin. And we have live silver ready to go. Now, I know a lot of you out there have been dabbling and getting really deep into the precious metals, so we got the dabblers and the deep divers. And everybody is collecting coins these days, or so it seems to me. Now, if you've run into shortages of silver, I want you to know there's not many companies in the entire world that can bring you a deal that comes from as deep as a well as 150,000 coins, 75 bags. That's Rare Collectibles TV. Everything has to come to an end, and we're getting close. But I want you to know this is a tremendous amount of variety. There's a little sampling right there. A deal of 25 coins at $395. Now, the next step up, 50 coins, $739, a flat $15 each. 50 coins. And we all will be packaged in a canvas bag, sealed up with a label. You can see some of the display right there. There's a little shot of one of the bags. 100-piece lot will be available in this special offering. And the 100-piece lot at $1,395 for 100 coins, $13.95 a coin. We're splitting that up into 2 payments of $697.50. That does not happen often. 2 payments, $697.50. Walking Liberty half dollars are valuable. And one of the reasons why is at the time when the Walking Liberty half dollar was issued, it was the main coin used for commerce. Because back in the day when these coins circulated, they were a powerful amount of spending money. The half dollar bought a lot. Not like today where you don't even see half dollars anymore. You wouldn't pick a half dollar up off the ground if you saw one, would you? I would. Sure, I would, yeah. Back then, they were made of solid silver. So at $38.75 a coin, yeah, they're selling like gangbusters. But these coins, all our competitors, are not bringing you the well of 150,000 Walking Liberty half dollars. 75 bags, folks. Now, I pointed out 1935's at $31.75. 1943 to 45, 3 coins, selling for $85 for the set of 3. That's $28.33 each. Everywhere you turn, the 5 coins at $160, $32 a coin. How is it that Rare Collectibles TV can come in so low? The main ingredient of this great deal is the fact that we are die-hard numismatists and coin collectors and coin dealers. We are coin dealers on TV or off. This deal was such an unbelievable buy that You know, it just so happens that we broadcast. But this deal was one that everybody wanted. Everybody. Catalogs wanted it. People who just have big coin shops. People who don't do television at all. You know, telemarketers, the guys that call you at 6 o'clock when you're about ready to sit down for dinner. Everybody wanted this deal. It was the biggest Walking Liberty half-dollar deal anybody had ever seen. I'd never seen a deal that had 150,000 coins. Today, more than ever, gold and silver and the precious metals are viewed as the original forms of money, much like thousands of years ago when the world was all about the original forms of money, gold and silver. We were on the silver standard in this country all the way to 1964. From the very beginning, from the very first coin struck, the half dismay, the half dime that was struck, from George Washington silver, right when the mint was first chartered in 1792, the following year, the half dismay was issued. Solid silver. And the tradition of solid silver in the United States of America went from the very, very beginning of the mint all the way to 1964, and even a little bit after that. Today, that is just not the case. That's why everybody wants the original. Everybody wants the original form of money. So one more time, ladies and gentlemen, or maybe two more times, right? We do this deal as a quantity deal because every one of our customers, everyone, I don't think there's a single customer when we do a deal like this purchases one coin. You know, you may watch a lot of times we'll have a one coin offering and then we'll go to quantity from there. But what we've discovered, especially today, every collector, everyone wants as much as they can get their hands on. But they also want a great price. Well, we got both bases covered there. And more than that, you want something original. You want something special. You want something a little bit different. 9 times out of 10, when you look at auction sites, when you look at other shows, you may see a bulk deal. You probably won't be able to recognize what the coins look like because the quality will be so awful. We pride ourselves in quality that you see right there. That's original. That's genuine, original, natural. That's what I call it. In its original state of preservation. No painted coins, no initials carved on them, no destroyed coins. All really nice coins that were put away generations ago as a hoard. Imagine this. Accumulating 150,000 Walking Liberty half-dollars. You may have no time for any other coins when all you do is put away Walking Liberty half-dollars, that kind of quantity. And this deal came from a true treasure hunter, somebody who was only after the Walking Liberty half-dollar, something that actually began with his father and carried on. That's what coin collecting's all about. We know it. Because us coin collectors, really, it's a family thing. It's passed on to your kids, or your kids can even sometimes pass it on to you when they get a desire to collect coins that becomes rekindled or kindled by all the news of today and all the demand for silver. It's not easy to get a deal like this. First of all, we have a couple of amazing buyers at this company, and you see them all the time. Rick Damaska, Jack McNamara, those guys are on the prowl 24/7. There is no off hours for the two of them. They'll go anywhere during any kind of circumstances to find a deal like this. And that's how this deal came about. So the Walking Liberty half-dollar, designed by Adolph A. Weinman in 1916. And it's one of those coins, the last of its kind, because the Walking Liberty half-dollar, the coin that came afterwards, was the Franklin. And that, of course, portrayed a real human being, Benjamin Franklin. But this is an allegorical of liberty, a conceptual design by the artist of the figure of liberty. Well, you'll note that her right hand is outstretched, and that was to symbolize the welcoming of the new century, because in 1916, it wasn't that long that the 20th century had started. It was a welcoming coin. It was a majestic coin. When you take a look at the Walking Liberty half-dollar and you see the sun rising off to the side and you see the representation of liberty taking up almost the entire obverse of the coin, and the reverse, also a design by Adolph A. Weinman, was captivating. It was the design of the American eagle, seldom seen in that form. Even though the eagle was not flying, it portrayed a lot of power and a lot of majesty. And it really kind of drove home the spirit of liberty, because you can see just about to light, just about to, I should say, just about to take off. So obverse and reverse of the Walking Liberty half dollar has been coveted by collectors since 1916. Here we are. We're at $15.80 a coin for 25 Walking Liberty half dollars, $15.80 each for a total of $395. For a lot, and I mean a lot, of 50 coins at $739, it brings the price down to 15 bucks. And finally, a 100-piece deal with a really nice variety, all bagged up, sealed up the proper way in a canvas bag for $1,395. $13.95 a coin, and we're splitting that up into two payments of $697.50. So that's all the hard work of the facts and figures. Over the course of history, every United States coin, be it gold or silver, has been subjected to melts. When I first became a coin dealer, the great run-up of silver hadn't even occurred yet. I got into the coin business in the late 1970s, so it was starting to pep up and it was starting to really get rolling, and everybody was starting to realize that, wow, these coins are something special. Well, silver hit all-time records, and the demand for silver exploded, and it has never abated. But one thing that has happened, coins get melted along the way. Millions and millions and millions of coins. We know this from all of the recorded history. The Walking Liberty half dollar was a coin that was used the most of any coin in commerce. Being 90% silver, quite a soft coin. Pretty large coin, too. In fact, it was the largest coin to really circulate in the United States of America. Morgan dollars did not circulate the way that the Walking Liberty half dollar did. The Walking Liberty half dollar was a commerce coin. Well, yeah, so was the Morgan, but more so the Walking Liberty half dollar. So they were subjected to getting worn out often. Those coins would be pulled out of circulation by the government, melted down, converted into bars or into other coins. And so the attrition rate of Walking Liberty half dollars was greater than almost any coin because its use was pretty much greater than all the other coins. So today, when you fast forward generations, this is where we're at, where if you're lucky enough to get your hand on a hoard of half dollars, never will they all be Walking Liberties. It just doesn't happen. They are the most preferred way to get into old silver, to get into the history, to get into the numismatics, to get into those variety of dates. Now, in looking through this deal, we were looking, right? I think it was yesterday. We saw coins from the 20s in there, from the 30s, and from the 40s, of course, the last decade. And one of the things that is so important here is that you don't get coins that are worn to the bone. Is that you get not just full date, but full detail on these coins. And that is one of the most important criteria for bringing a deal like this. And it seems, and we were really lucky in this, it seems that when this deal was put away, the finest of the Walking Liberty half dollars that could be accumulated the way this one collector did it were in this deal. So one last time, folks, Walking Liberty half dollars from the great Depository Hoard in Delaware, 150,000 coins strong, 75 bags of 2,000 coins in each bag, offered to you in lots of 25, 50, and 100. This deal, and you'll hear a lot of people say this deal will not last forever, but imagine this. We started with 150,000 coins. I heard yesterday we're down to the last 8,000 coins. 8,000 coins. You guys, you collectors, got all but 8,000 of these coins. So for those of you who didn't get a chance at this deal, that's why we're bringing it back. That's why we're giving it, well, probably one or two last opportunities here. All right, thank you all so much for watching this presentation. Stay tuned because there's a lot more great coins coming up. See you soon.
You're watching Rare Collectibles TV.
This is a special announcement for all silver enthusiasts. Stay tuned to find out how you can acquire a rare, limited production American coin struck from pure silver. The American Silver Eagle, struck from 1 ounce of .999 fine pure silver, has long been America's favorite silver dollar. President Ronald Reagan signed the Liberty Coin Act of 1985, and the first ASE was struck on October 29, 1986. The obverse of the iconic American Silver Eagle depicts Lady Liberty wrapped in the stars and stripes of the American flag as she strides forward with an outstretched arm and an open palm, which beckon in the hopeful rising sun of a new day. This design of Lady Liberty comes from Adolph Weinman's stunning Walking Liberty half dollar, which was minted from 1916 to 1947. John Mercanti, the 12th chief engraver of the United States Mint, used modern mint technologies to strengthen many details of Weinman's legendary design. The reverse design showcases Mercanti's heroic rendition of a valiant heraldic eagle, inspired by the Great Seal of the United States. The eagle is clutching an olive branch in one talon and arrows in the other. 13 stars above the eagle represent the original 13 colonies of the United States. But Mint State ASEs do not bear the numismatic mint mark of where these coins were struck. The West Point Mint began striking American Silver Eagles in 2001. And in 2020, due to an emergency closure of the West Point Mint because of COVID-19, the production of American Silver Eagles briefly shifted to the Philadelphia Mint. But during this 2-week period, the Philadelphia Mint produced one of the lowest mintage American Silver Eagles ever of only 240,000 coins. And NGC, the leading numismatic grading service in the country, has identified these coins with a special pedigree designation on their label that states Emergency Production American Silver Eagles, as well as the rare pedigree of first day of issue. Call 1-800-233-4145 right now to make sure you don't miss out. And listen to this, only 240,000 of these limited emergency production coins were struck, making this one of the rarest American Silver Eagles to ever be produced in the entire series. This limited number of coins being produced from Philadelphia is what coin enthusiasts call absolute rarity. And don't forget, these stunning coins are struck from .999 fine pure silver. That's right, pure silver. And each of these coins is graded Mint State 69. That's the grade of a nearly perfect coin. And also has the rare pedigree of first day of issue. Due to the incredible scarcity of 2020 emergency production American Silver Eagles in Mint State 70 condition, prices have skyrocketed, sometimes even costing between $700 and $800 for an MS-70. But listen to this, the difference between a Mint State 70 example and a Mint State 69 example is unable to be seen by the naked eye. This means that unless you are looking at your 2020 emergency production American Silver Eagle under 5 times magnification, there will be virtually no difference in quality between the Mint State 69 and Mint State 70 examples. And that's not all. Each of these stunning American Silver Eagles will come with an RCTV exclusive Reagan pop art label inspired by a Ronald Reagan sculpture that John Mercanti designed himself. Call 1-800-233-4145 right now to add this exclusive 2020 emergency production American Silver Eagle in Mint State 69 condition to your own personal collection for the low price of just $99.95. That's right, only $99.95 for one of the rarest American Silver Eagles to ever be produced. Wow! Due to the minuscule mintage and immense demand for these remarkable coins, we must limit this exclusive offer to 5 coins per household. And listen to this. If you order right now, you will also receive free shipping and handling. With such a low mintage of only 240,000 coins, this limited production pure silver American Silver Eagle is truly a historic and rare treasure. Lady Liberty on the ASE has always represented America's desire for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Call 1-800-233-4145 right now or visit our website at rarecollectiblestv.com. That's rarecollectiblestv.com.
Hello, welcome back to Rick's U.S. Coin Show. Rick Tamaska here. Folks, I've been doing this for over 35 years now. Well before you were born, Caitlin. You grew up around coins, you know?
Yes, I did.
And one of the things that I decided early on is that I would only buy those kind of coins that I really enjoyed owning, because I thought they were exceptional for their date in terms of their eye appeal, their quality, and they had a tremendous amount of rarity. And in that sense, offered tremendous value and long-term potential for my clients. And that way, if I bought those kinds of coins, I didn't worry about selling them. Because if I offered it to a client and they didn't want to buy it, that's fine. I would be happy to continue to own the coin because I felt it was only going to become more valuable over the passage of time. And when I did have to sell it, or when I would offer it to a client, the best way to sell the coin was just to tell the truth about it. You know, just tell the facts about it. You know, what makes it so special? What makes it so great? And that's what I've been doing now since the 1980s. And I've built many of the finest collections over those years. And so when I get something like this, I just am so conscientious about the fact that I need to do my best to do these coins justice. Because if you're a new collector out there, you're going to be getting a lot of information about these coins. And that's really, really important. You know, I don't want you to just trust my word. I want to give you as much information as possible so you'll understand and see for yourself how really, really special these coins are. And these double eagles I have today. Now, we've had many, many different bag deals and different groups of double eagles from the European bank hoard. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the European bank hoard, this was extraordinary. The European bank hoard had to do with the fact that in 1933, Franklin Roosevelt signed an executive order making the ownership of over $100 worth of gold illegal. And if you did end up owning over $100 worth of gold and you didn't hand it in to the government in exchange for paper money, you could get arrested, and people were arrested, and they were imprisoned if they held on to more than $100 worth of gold. I mean, they were serious about this. Now, Roosevelt did this because of the fact that this was during the Great Depression, and a lot of people were pulling their money out of the banks because the banks were going under, going bankrupt. Imagine having your life savings in the bank, going to the bank the next day, and it's closed up. And they didn't have any kind of federal insurance back then to reimburse you. I mean, you just lost your life savings. So people were understandably putting their money in gold. Well, so, Roosevelt needed to stop that trend, so he passed this legislation. People were turning their gold in, and it's amazing. All the gold coins that were struck for all those decades, going back into the 1850s, double eagles, $5 gold pieces, $1 gold pieces. The number of coins that were melted down, put back into gold bars, was extraordinary. Here's a little chart that shows the percentages of all the gold coins that struck that were melted back down into gold bars. I mean, think of if they had decided to just put them in the vault and resell them one day at a premium. They could have made a lot of money, but instead they put them in the gold bars. Of all the $20 gold double eagles struck, 39% of them were melted back down into gold bars. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, the $20 gold piece, the U.S. Mint has struck everything from a $1 gold piece on up to a $20 gold piece for commerce. And you see the $1 gold piece at the very far left there. Then you have a $2.50 gold piece, which was called a quarter eagle. And there's a $3 gold piece, even a $4 gold piece, then a $5 gold piece, which was called the half eagle, and then the $10 gold piece, which was called the eagle because up until 1858, the $10 gold piece was the largest gold coin the mint had struck for commerce. So they called it the eagle. But then they discovered gold in California in the late 1840s, and all of a sudden we had an abundance of gold, and they were able to strike larger gold coins, which the banks really needed for commerce. It was very helpful for commerce to have these larger gold coins. And this larger gold coin was twice the size of that eagle, so it was a double eagle. And this coin, folks, it's about an ounce of gold, 0.97 approximately of an ounce of gold. So it's about an ounce of gold. So right now, gold's around $1,250 an ounce. And just in the gold value alone, one of these coins is just about $1,250 just for its gold value. Forget about the numismatic value. Just in the gold value alone, it's over $1,200. And the thing is about these double eagles, they're a little bit smaller in diameter than a Morgan dollar. But at the same time, they're about 25% heavier. Very heavy, soft metal. These coins were struck for commerce. They weren't given any kind of special treatment. They were struck, the coins were ejected from the press. They would fall into a bin. One coin would fall on top of another. They would abrade it against each other. They'd go through coin counting machines, and then they would be dumped into bags, and from there they would be transported to banks around the country. So that by the time you got the coin at the bank, it would be uncirculated, but it would be very heavily bag marked. In fact, the most valuable coin of all, which resides in the Smithsonian, happens to be the very first Liberty double eagle ever struck. It was struck in 1849. They only struck 2 examples. No one knows what happened to the other coin. It disappeared. So this is the lone surviving example. It's estimated to be worth maybe $100 million or more. Who knows? It's the first Liberty double eagle ever struck. Here it's one of only 2. And yet you can see some prominent bag marks below Liberty's chin. My guess is this was the very first coin struck. It fell into the bin, and then the next one that was struck, the rim of that coin impacted right where you see those reading marks, right below her chin. Very prominent, heavy reading marks. This coin would probably be about an MS-63 grade with reading marks that deep into the coin. And yet it was one of only 2 coins struck. Didn't go into any bags with, 800 or 998 other coins. Just one of only 2, and yet it's still an MS-63 grade, approximate. But it's still worth, maybe $100 million. Now, the European bank hoard, what's that all about? Well, everybody had to turn in their gold because it was illegal to own over $100 worth of gold in the United States. But there were a few enterprising individuals who said to themselves, who had the money to do it, well, it may be illegal to own gold in the United States, but it's not illegal to own gold, say, in Europe. So what they did was they bought bags of gold, and usually double eagles, and they had them shipped to banks in Europe in the 1930s. And that's where they've been ever since. And they have started to come out of these banks several years ago. And we've featured several of these over the past several years. And this, folks, is really the perfect time to buy, because never have the premiums for rare numismatic gold coins struck before 1933. Never have the premiums been so low. In other words, about 15 years ago, I remember I had a Liberty double eagle. It was a common date in MS-63 condition. And back then, gold was around $300 to $400 an ounce. But back then, the premium for an MS-63 Liberty double eagle common date was about 10 times the value of the gold. I sold the coin to a dealer for $3,500. Gold was $300 to $400 an ounce. I sold it for $3,500, about 10 times the value of the gold. Right now, that same common date gold coin, it might be twice the value of the gold. Now, I've been saying that for several years. And just recently, an article came out, headline on the gray sheet, which is the gray sheet is a price guide that all the dealers use to determine what they should be paying for coins that come across their desk or across their counter in their coin shop. And this article has very interesting on, is it time for a new perspective on generic gold? And there's a really interesting paragraph I want to read to you. And again, this is what I've been saying for several years, and now we're finding it in this latest article here in the gray sheet, the Coin Dealer newsletter. I quote, "There has not been a time in recent memory when pre-1933 gold coins were obtainable for so little over spot." That's really important, you know, for so little over spot. And then they're talking about generic gold coins, which are the most common of these earlier gold coins. Now, I'm really not interested in the most common of these double eagles. We're interested in some of the rare double eagles. And what I have today from the European Bank Hoard, I think we're getting to the end of the line on the European Bank Hoard, because when they first started coming out with these bags, they were offering some of the more common dates, and that we had them on our show in gem condition. Coins like the 1908 No Motto, 1924p. Here's a listing of dates we've been offering on our show, and they're ranked in approximate order from the most common to the rarest in mint state condition. And you can see the 24p's, most common, followed by the 1908p No Mottos. We had those in high-grade condition on our show about 3 years ago. And you get down to some rare dates, like the 1915s, 1914s. We had several dozen of those at one point. 1907. 1907, we actually had a bag quantity of the 1907, folks, and that was several months ago. Now, we're out of those now. That was extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary to have the 1907 St. Gaudens, something that rare, have a bag. It's the only known bag to come out of the European Bank Hoard. And again, this was most recently, because as I said, as this liquidation has continued on, it seems that they're getting down to the bottom where they're now offering some of the rarest dates. And so now when you get into the Liberty series, which preceded the St. Gaudens series, the one date we have never really offered a lot of in quantity was the 1904p. Because when you look at the Liberty double eagles, by far the most common is the 1904p. I mean, when you see a Liberty double eagle in uncirculated condition, or especially in higher grade mint state, it's almost always a 1904p. But then you have other dates like the 1907, 1903, 1900p. But then when you get into the 1890s, more recently, we've had 1899Ps and 97Ps and 97Ss. Now look how rare these coins are in 6.2, 6.3 grade versus the 04P. So 80,000 of the 04P in 6.3 condition, 97P only 3,100 coins. And then you get down into the mid-1890s. This is where, folks, you get into these earlier dates in the 1890s. Very few of these were in uncirculated bags that made it to Europe. There's a handful of those that went to Europe in bags. Almost all the bags were St. Gaudens or 1904P or these later Liberty double eagles. There were very few bags from the mid-1890s and earlier. 1894P, we never had a bag of those, but we did have a small group of them that we were able to offer. What I have today is by far the rarest bag of double eagles we have ever offered in mint state condition. This is extraordinary. And it's a low mintage date. They only struck, folks, the total mintage was 344,000 coins. That's it. It's the 1893P. Check out the numbers on this 1893P. We have these in MS62 condition. To give you an idea of how rare this coin is, if you went to the Smithsonian And I've got this excellent book, Encyclopedia of U.S. Gold Coins. If you went to the Smithsonian and looked at their coin collection, they've got the greatest coin collection of United States coins in the world. And you look at their gold collection, they have some of the finest gold pieces. They have that 1849, which you just saw. The only one surviving, the 1849, a coin worth in the tens of millions of dollars. That's at the Smithsonian. But if you look at their 1893P, you won't find one. They don't have one. They don't have an 1893P. I want you to take a look of some of the coins we have from this bag. We have nearly 100 in MS-62 condition, folks. Almost 100 in MS-62 just on this one stand. We have about 35 of them. Caitlin, if we can give them a hand shot of an MS-62, remember, there's only a handful graded higher than this. There's only one example graded in MS-65 by NGC. These are extraordinary. These are among the finest surviving specimens. There is no example in the Smithsonian. Zero. We should probably donate one to the Smithsonian, because, I mean, they need it for their collection. They don't have a 93P. These large, heavy gold coins, 25% heavier than a Morgan dollar, struck in the 1890s to survive in this condition. That came from this bag, these two bags. The only known bags of 1893Ps from the European bank hoard. And we have them for you today. This is something that never in my wildest numismatic fantasies, going back to the 1980s, did I ever dream I'd be able to offer to you folks, our viewers. And the beauty of it is, when we buy the bag, we pay a certain price for the bag. We inspect the bag, we make sure it's a good bag, and if we like the quality, then we make the purchase. So we bought the bag, and we had the coins graded, and as you can see, rather than getting a bunch of MS-60s and MS-61s, we had a lot of coins graded MS-62, and so our cost in these coins is so far below market, and we're able to pass the savings on to you. To give you an idea of where Liberty Double Eagles are when it comes to the general coin market, even the most common dates, like the 1904P, they've graded out maybe about 100,000 of them in MS-62. Coin sold in, that's a coin that's sold in auction, okay? It was purchased in auction for almost $3,900 for an MS-62. There's another 62 for $4,200 that was featured on eBay. There's a 1903P, a little bit tougher date, in 6.3 for $4,500. There's an 1897 that's sold in auction, MS-62. For $4,200. Again, they've graded 8,300 in MS-62 for the 97P. 97S, 3,600. Again, these are all dates that are far less, I mean, they're rare dates, folks, but they're not as rare as the 93P. There's a 99, $3,900. 94P, MS-63, $3,800. Now, we had some 94Ps, it was about 2 years ago. We had, I think, 15 examples in MS-62 and MS-63. That was it. Those are the only 94Ps we've ever offered. Take a look at these. There you not only see the population number graded, but you see the minages. Now we're taking a magnifying glass and studying these a little bit closer, where we're just looking at the Liberty Double Eagle series. And you can see how many have been graded in mint state, but you can also see the minages. And that's what makes this 1893P so desirable. They only struck 344,000 examples. Now you can look up above there, you can see the 1903P. Well, they struck only 287 of those and only 111,000 of the 01Ps. However, remember what I said earlier. These were coins that were struck in the 1900s, the 01P, 03P. A lot more of those still survived in bags that were shipped to Europe. So while, for example, you may not have had as many graded in MS62, when you look at the total number that have been that were graded in 6.3 and 6.4 and 6.5, for example, the 1901P has 1,700 examples graded in 6.4. 93P only has 78. 01P has 347 examples graded in 6.5. 93P only 1. So those later dates were saved in much larger quantities in the bags, and the ones that they graded were the finer known specimens. 93P is in a class by itself. This is a much earlier issue. This is the only known bag. 3,900 graded in 6.2 condition, only 1,300 in 6.3, and only 79 higher by NGC. This is the best part of all. It's great to get a rare coin. I mean, I love buying United States rare coins of the highest possible eye appeal, quality, and rarity. But it's a lot more fun when you're able to get them for a great price. I mean, if I get a rare coin and I've got to pay top dollar, it takes a little bit of the fun and joy out of it. But if I can get it at a price that I'm saying to myself, wow, this is really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I mean, this is like getting something for free. And that's kind of what I feel like I'm doing right now. You've got this chart here, folks. I mean, there are gold coins, as you saw from the comps. The most common examples might be selling in uncirculated condition in the $2,000 range, okay? The most common examples. The rarest gold double eagles have sold for over $1 million. I could show you plenty of comps of those. What we have here are 1893Ps, low mintage, in high grade condition, among the finest known. Among the finest known. Again, there is not a single example in the Smithsonian. They're at this end of the rarity spectrum of Liberty double eagles. But in price, folks, in price, because the quality of this bag was so superior, I'm going to price them out to you now. You're going to love it. Call in now. Call in now. This truly is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This is a low mintage issue, the only bag we've ever handled, we ever will handle, the only known bag from the European Bank Hoard, folks. If you want an MS62, we have fewer than 100 examples. But again, I have to emphasize, what we sell these coins for is not based on what the market will bear. Our prices are based on our cost. And when we get a sensational deal like this, our greatest thrill is to be able to pass the savings on to you, because in the end, we end up making a lot of happy customers, and you come back for more. And that's what we want. We want your return business. And that's what this is all about. We want you to be happy. Call in now. $3,195 a coin. $3,195 a coin. This has never happened before. You'll never see this anywhere else on any other show, folks. You're seeing it here on Rick's U.S. Coin Show today. Call in now. We have just about 100 in MS62. Once these are gone, that is it. Like so many of our other presentations when we had coins from the European Bank Hoard, once they were gone, that's it. You never see them again. This is a coin you want to put away for your kids and grandkids for the long term. This is a really nice little nest egg. We have a lot of folks calling in. Do we have any open lines? We do have an open line. I can't believe it. I'm not doing my job. I'm not. If we still have an open line, I am not doing my job. Okay, he's on the line now. Hey, here's something I want you to see, folks. I mean, miracles do happen. This 1893P bag from the European Bank Hoard is a miracle. The incredibly rare date. Not too long ago, a gentleman on the East Coast, I believe it was in New England, discovered this 1854 $5 gold coin. I believe he found it in the garage sale. It was a $5 gold piece. It's a quarter ounce. 1854S. Very rare coin. It was circulated. He took it to a coin shop. They told him, well, it's obviously a counterfeit because it's a very rare coin. Somebody made a counterfeit. He took it to another coin shop. They told him the same thing. He finally sent it to NGC. They studied it. Graded XF45. It was the real deal. It was the real deal. He put the coin in auction. Sold for $2.1 million, a $5 gold piece. Okay? Miracles do happen. Some things that seem too good to be true really are true. And that's what you're looking at today with these 1893p Liberty Double Eagles, an incredibly low mintage issue of only 344,000 originally struck. A lot of them, again, were melted down in the 1930s. So if they melted even 20% down of these, I mean, they melted 39% of all the double eagles struck. If just 20% of these were melted down, that brings the total surviving population down to 250,000. And then again, almost all of them went into commerce, into circulation. There was this one bag that was shipped to Europe and has remained in those banks in Europe for about 90 years. We bought the bag. The quality was superb. We're passing the savings on to you. You're getting 1893Ps at basically a common date price, and yet this is so much rare. Actually, it's below a common date price. Folks, I mean, gold value alone is around $1,900 in this coin. I mean, this is the time to buy. This is a small window of opportunity. This is, you know, to get a rare date like this, this is a small window of opportunity. We're fortunate to be able to offer almost 100 in MS62. We've got a lot of folks calling in on this. You know, stay online. If we have the lines locked, just stay on hold there. You don't want to miss out on these. I mean, we've had a lot of great double eagle presentations in the past, but nothing this rare in mint state condition with this low a mintage. This is just an absolute thrill. I feel so fortunate to be able to offer something like this to you folks, our viewers, our clients. This is the kind of deal where, you know, again, we always base it on our costs. So when we get something that is of such quality that we get great grades, which brings our costs way down, and then we can pass the savings on to you and make you happy. We want happy customers, because when we have happy customers, then you come back for more. And then that's what we want. We want your return business, okay? We want you to continue to watch Rick's U.S. Coin Show, because you never know what we're going to come up with next. Thank you for watching. Welcome to Rick's U.S. Coin Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Rick Tomasca, your host, and I have got an incredibly exciting gold opportunity for you today. That's the good news. The bad news is I have real limited quantities of this coin. They're in mint state condition, folks, and they're Smithsonian quality. These coins are equal or superior to the example in the Smithsonian. Now, the Smithsonian has the finest collection of United States coins in the world. In fact, they own what is considered the single most valuable coin in all of U.S. numismatics. It's the first double eagle ever struck. This is the only surviving example. It's in the Smithsonian. It's 1849. This is the first time they ever struck a double eagle. Up to that point, the largest gold coin was a $10 gold piece that they called the Eagle. The Eagle was just about a half an ounce of gold. It was then that They discovered gold in California in 1848. So now our country had this abundance of gold, and they were able to strike an even larger gold coin, which was of incredible help to the banking system because it allowed the banks to make those larger transactions that much easier if they had double eagles to work with instead of eagles. So the Mint began striking the double eagle, and they had a couple of these that they struck in 1849. It was called the double eagle because it was twice the size of the eagle with about an ounce of gold. They're large, heavy coins. A double eagle, folks, I have a couple right here. Well, they're a little bit smaller in diameter than a Morgan dollar. A Morgan dollar is a very large silver coin. They're a little bit smaller in diameter than a Morgan dollar. They're about 25 to 30% heavier than a Morgan dollar. Because again, this is about a full ounce, close to a full ounce of gold in a double eagle. The examples I have today, folks, are from the 19th century, and I have them in MS-62 and MS-63 condition. We have a limited quantity of these. I've got, I think, 15 of each on display right now. The total we have is around 70 coins. The Smithsonian example is an MS-62. Take a look at these, MS-62 and an MS-63. For comparison, I also have an MS-60 that we can show the viewers so they can see the difference. Now, when we're talking about MS-60, 62, 63, if you're new to United States coin collecting, those numbers are meaningless. So let me explain in about 30 seconds what that all means.